opinion, these last couple of days that you've been on the show?
I mean, it's especially for the Super Weekend, right? It's been really interesting to see some teams step up heavily. The one team that I'm super happy to actually get themselves some really good points, and they actually a back-to-back chicken dinner was Damwon. I think they played some of their best PUBG Mobile esports I've seen in a long while, and we wanted to see how can the South Korean region represent themselves in the PMGC stage, and it was a little bit
I found
all over the place, I would say, at the start of the tournament, but they
meditation,
significantly improved
right.
entering
It only
into the
takes a
Super
few
Weekend, and they had
minutes
to,
to
right,
start
because they were
feeling
not
better.
safe. They're part of the Future,
Sleeping
they were in a
better.
very
I can
precarious
sit
situation,
still.
but they got
Be
themselves a
kinder to
back-to-back
myself.
win. They go for some interesting rotations, getting really good spots. I think their mentality changed drastically. Hopefully they can continue today, because if so, they will be part of those top 16 teams, but their position is not yet secured. So Damwon has been the team that I've been impressed with, who is also potentially BTR, that also got a double win yesterday.
Yeah, in Damwon's case, they're 15th place at 195 points. In Bigatron's case, 210 in 12th place. But there isn't that big of a gap here for some of these teams, and we'll obviously get to take a look at the overall leaderboards in just a few seconds. But Tarzan, looking into today, well, what's your thoughts on Damwon? We got to hear Max talk about him a little bit.
I feel like Damwon was not tested to the limits that we want to see, but of course when it comes to their mentality, and it seems like the way that they play, they seem to have found some comfort zone, should I say, that they know this is the way that we can consistently get some points. So that is actually one of the most important lines to cross, I would say, when it comes to consolidating your bases and your foundation. So yeah, I'm very excited to see more, but BTR would be the other team to watch, like you mentioned. I mean, they were the team that was kind of considered as the biggest disappointment, I think, in the early stages of the tournament. I don't think is the case anymore. They've really come in strong from the past few days.
Real quick here, gentlemen, yesterday on the show, a certain caster named Imperium made a bet that DRS would not fall out of top 16, or else he would shave his beard. They're sitting in 11th place, 218 points. 16th place is 173 points, a 45-point difference between qualifying and not qualifying, between having a beard and no longer having a beard. I am excited to see what's going to happen today for all these teams in between DRS and 16th place.
Just to put it in a very easy sentence here, Jason, I think it's possible, but very improbable. You would need the stars to align perfectly, and I really mean perfectly, for DRS to not potentially make it in. Of course, there is that possibility, but you'll need all the teams at the top. That means Infinity, Star Wars, Genesis Dogma, For Rivals, Nima Galaxy, to get almost no points today, and all the teams at the bottom to actually suck up all the points in these next 5 games, and then that could potentially happen. But it just seems, as I said, Jason, extremely unlikely. So I think DRS are good to go, but you never know until the 5 games are played out.
Thing is, those top teams, they look like they were just relaxed a little bit yesterday. So I don't know how hard they're going to be trying, because again, they don't get any extra points in the finals for where they place. They don't get any extra money. It's just about getting into the finals. So we'll see if they take their foot off the metal. I don't know how Max would say it.
I would say that, yeah.
At 2 teams who are desperately fighting for that 16th place, FaZe Clan, DXavier. DXavier going to be 16th, FaZe Clan currently in 17th, and we can kind of compare their stats here across the Super Weekends.
Yeah, when you're looking at FaZe, of course, these stats are still very impressive. They missed out on the Super Weekend, so it's a little bit hard for them to potentially play catch-up. But the main issue that I have with FaZe is I look through the numbers a little bit, which, you know, you might want to question my numbers, but I check the numbers as a fact on the stat page, so we should be good. Tony K has got 38 eliminations over 25 games. The rest of the team is at 16, 17 eliminations apiece, except for, I believe, Corpide is like even lower. I think he's at like potentially 1 elimination over 12 games. So I want to see more build up around Tony K, because he's clearly the player bringing a lot of success to the team, a lot of points. But we're just not seeing anything from the rest of the squad. We saw some moments of greatness from B11 throughout the PMGC, which is good, but I mean, Tony K, we need to see the players stand around him. 2.4 KDA is huge, Jason, but he can't leave the guy just play solo like that.
It's very interesting, like, to see them place these 4 players on the screen right now, because, like, out of all the teams, they were the only team yesterday, gentlemen, that they were still kind of trying what's the best roster to play. Yesterday, the first 3 games actually, they played MR5, and in the last 2 games, they sucked him out and they played Corpide. And right now they're putting Corpide in. We don't know what's, you know, the deal here. Like, I'm a little bit worried, like, for them to actually do that yesterday. I feel like that is a sign of maybe hesitation. So we really need to see whether they found the secret formula here.
Well, let's be fair to Corpide. If anyone on that team knows about last-second qualifications, it's going to be him if we think back to Power AAA KPS last year. But here is our schedule for today. It is our last 5 matches of the Super Weekend. Erangel, Miramar, Erangel, Sandhawk, Erangel. If you guys can't read there on your screen, it's the exact same way it's been the entire time, and it's going to be tough for all these teams, realizing that if you're one of the teams who needs those points, you cannot really afford to have too many bad matches, or really any bad matches over the course of today. And one way to prevent yourself from having bad matches is by getting yourself a 1+ and find out they're here, the sponsor at PMGC 2021. With its flagship performance and immersive 120Hz display and hyper touch technology made specifically for gamers, the 1+9 and 9 Pro are your best shot to climb the leaderboards, and maybe your best shot to get top 16. Who knows here? Max, I mean, it helps your game out quite a bit. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, I think my case is very different because nothing could save me, even a top tier device. But hey, I could still try. You know, I might be able to kill a few bots here and there some point in time. We'll have to see how that pans out. But man, I'm looking at all these teams now on the list, and you asked this question a lot, Jason. No, asking about hot drops. Typically, I'm against hot drops early in the tournament. You only have 5 more games now, and if you want to get rid of Nova Esport, now's the perfect time to do so. So I would love to see some of the top teams like Affinity, Stalwart, Genesis, Donware. They're super safe. If you want to make sure the Nova Esport, the current reigning world champion, to put them out of the entire event, this is the perfect time to do so. Hot drop Nova, get rid of them, boys.
I mean, hey, that's a really risky thing to do, but it's a very good point, right, Tarzan? If you're Infinity, if you're Stalwart, Genesis, Dogma 4, Rivals, Lima Galaxy, 628 even, MS Chon Bury, like you're all 300 points or higher. Realistically, there's no way you should ever fall out of top 16. Why not go for it?
Yeah, like you won't fall out, and this is the thing. How do you make use of today is the key question. Like, you're already safe. Like, what can you do today? Are you going to consolidate your play style? Are you going to have some fun? Are you actually planning something I don't know, cheeky that can really like confuse other teams? Like, I really want to see that type of plan coming through, but I'm not sure whether we are there yet as a scene, but I think someday.
No, do it. Forget this. You don't know if we're there yet, man. Like, this is like brutal competition. $362,500 for first place at the end of just the league finals. Not even the grand finals. It's $6 million in total across West and East. And what, you're gonna have a gentleman's agreement for $300 grand? No, forget that, man. That's not enough money for me to have a gentleman's agreement. That's too much money actually for me to have one. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you take out the reigning champion? Why wouldn't you focus Bigatron out? Why wouldn't you focus any team that could potentially take away any extra money that you could earn and help teams that you think you can easily take on in the finals qualify? It's smart. And you know what? Like, I think teams are a little too scared to do it. I think they're afraid of like fans from other teams like being angry with them. But you know what? It's a competition. This isn't a gentleman's tournament. It's just for big bucks.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I couldn't put it any better here. If you have an opportunity to get rid of a team that you might see as a threat throughout the tournament, you're going to have to strike while the iron is hot. This is an opportunity that would never appear again throughout the entire tournament. Potentially, it will appear back into the finals of the league stage, but it's just so risky because you're not going to be top 16 anymore. It's going to be top 9, so you maybe don't want to take that risk. So yeah, I mean, Deek Xavier, FaZe Clan, Damwon, Nova, if you see these guys as a threat throughout the tournament, hey, just hot drop them. Maybe not the first few games, but if there's a situation where it could be impactful throughout maybe the last 2 to 3 games, go for it. I want to see some hot drops happen today. This is the time.
I'm sorry. If you're like Cryptix, Nova, Damwon, Deek Xavier, FaZe, Deadeyes guys, you better have a secondary drop location that you can go to with confidence. You better have backups on every single map, because there is no way that you should feel comfortable going to where you're normally going to be dropping right now, with this being the final day overall. But with it also being the final day, it's time to get our predictions in. I'm going to start things off here because you know what? It's pretty obvious who I'm going to be choosing. It's going to be Max, man. That's my prediction. No, it's Infinity. Go ahead, Max.
I was about to say, he would predict me to win. I think that would never happen. No, I'm going to go with the boys. I'm telling you, Jason, it's going to be 4 rivals. I'm going 4 rivals all the way. They're going to get their first Super Weekend win here eventually. So, yeah, 4 rivals.
Bigatron. Bigatron is my choice. They've done very well for me and themselves yesterday in Game 5, and I think it's going to be huge for the Indonesian fans. Continue with the hype is what I'm going to say. I think it can still be a stellar day for them.
I think for me, what's interesting about Bigatron and Max, as you can talk about here too, is if we see Ryzen out again and Liquid and Yuhai in.
So I've been scattering, going through the internet and through the interweb, and I've been able to find out that a lot of people think actually that Ryzen has had a burnout apparently, which I'm not sure of how valid that actually is, but hey, if you want to give him a little bit of a break, that's fine, but you're still not safe, so you got to be careful.
Hey, the Terminator needs to recharge his batteries. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head into our first match of the day. Let's bring in Blend Imperium to cover all the action here in these first 2 matches.
Thank you, Jason. We're going to try our best to cover all the action. Of course, we will be seeing a lot of action as well, but Imperium, before we start things off, Max is being very brave. I like the pick of 4 rivals, and I'm going to be on that train. I am on that 4 rivals train, because I did say on Friday, they are going to end this weekend rather, on a chicken dinner.
Yeah.
We're going to do it today.
And I believe you also put your hair on the line for that, if I'm not
I have
mistaken.
no idea what you're talking about. No.
Okay,
Nope.
okay. Yep, okay. Anyway, the plane path is upon us. It's a maximum 4 rivals chicken dinner prediction. But at the end of the day, the fight really is down at the bottom of the standings. In my eyes, there's 3 teams who are fighting for the final spot at the moment of the PMGC finals. You've got the Xavier, you got FaZe Clan, you got Deadeye's guys. That one do have a bit of a gap. It's around 20 plus points ahead of 16th. So that's already a good base mark, but they're by no means absolutely secure. If they have a downhill trajectory within these 5 games, we could see them into the mix. So the door is wide open overall, and I'm very excited to see who really grabs that door, shoves it out of its kind of things, and just throws it out the window and just says, hey, we're taking this, we're taking the final spot.
Before we do delve more, deeply into these teams, right? And obviously, I think you hit the nail on the head, right? The Xavier, FaZe Clan, Deadeye's guys, these are the teams we're all going to be keeping an eye out on. But you know what? Shout out to Enigma Galaxy. At the end of the first Super Weekend, they were the one team at the very bottom. And we had 1 point on day 3 of the first Super Weekend. 1 point. Absolutely just like a flat performance coming out from them. But the way they've managed to recover and turn things around, definitely kudos to them. And as right now they are placed 4th, looking very, very comfortable. But yes, as you did say, it is indeed going to be all eyes on the teams at the very bottom. It's going to be, of course, FaZe Clan, who, I mean, at the end of the final game yesterday, I did ask the desk as well, and I don't think they had an answer. Where the hell are FaZe?
I'm hoping they can answer that themselves today. Right now, you got 6 to 8 going up against Reject, just outside the coastal line of the Erangel map. Nice initial knock by Seron to 33Z. Both of these teams are qualified as Seron picks up a second. Possibly going to look for the 3-piece. Jumps out the window. Goes for the pre-knock. Sarah! Can you get the 4 in a row? Not quite. Takes a good bit of damage. Has to try and run around, but his teammates are now here to help.
His teammates are here. I can't believe the 1v4. He should find it. He's going to confirm the kill. Finds 33. He's trying to pick them off while he can. And Sarah, this would be massive. He hears them coming for him, and they're just biding his time. And he is playing this to absolute perfection. Sinan, what are you gonna do? He doesn't know what to do, and now he's being surrounded. The Wolves, they've been put down by Sarah single-handedly. And let him get the ace. Let him get the ace. Let him get the 4K. No, Divine's going to steal one away from him. And Sinan trying to delay the inevitable valiant attempt to knock down the player there. But in the end, it is going to be Reiji to finish him off with the Glock. And what a play. What an incredible play coming in from Sarah.
Let's go, man. That's what I love. The shackles are off and they're just having fun at this stage. Man, and this is good for the teams fighting down in the bottom of the standings, right? You have another team eliminated. Yes, there's 4 less chances of points in terms of eliminations, but you've got the ability to get a higher place in position. There's technically now more space in the circle because there's 6 players eliminated rather than, not 6 players being eliminated. FaZe Clan went for an initial drop. I believe they did get elimination onto one of the 4 rivals players.
Yep.
So that's the Maxman curse coming through. And now they've instantly made their way. Yeah, there you go. That's a replay. Because I saw one of the FaZe players drop near 4 rivals on the north of the river to pick up a vehicle. Seems like they got sightlines on that 4 rivals player on his own and picked up that kill. Good awareness from FaZe Clan, and also even just that kind of setting up of, hey, we also have a bit of an easy entry point into the circle because we've eliminated a player. We've put a team down to 3. They're going to be a little bit more cautious coming in. Automatically more space.
For sure. And we haven't even touched upon the circle, right? It is going to be a massive east zone where about 40% of it is in the water. So we could see Lipovka final zone and maybe a multi-power even could head towards Novorepnoy. But Man, I'm still recovering. I don't know how you've so quickly recovered from that 1v4 from Sarah. Although, yes, his teammates were still alive, but at that moment he was isolated. And it kind of reminds
So
me
clean.
of Rorschach. Rorschach from Watchmen is like, you think I'm locked in here with you? You're locked in here with me. And it just completely destroys them. Just such a baller.
That was brilliant. You should cast like that.
No, I don't think my throat could take it. I don't want to sound like
Go on,
that.
give it a try. Give it a try.
And it's Yuri. He's gonna. No, I can't. It's too early in the day.
Good effort. Good effort, man.
Maybe once my vocal cords are warmed up a little bit, maybe a second game, I could be like, "And MS Chonburi, they're going in for the kill." I'll probably give it a shot.
Oh my god. Yes, hell yes, why not? But you're right about that circle. Having a good kind of 30% water in play, it does eliminate the landmass available. I would expect Stalwart to wait until phase 2, even phase 3 to in any way move out of the military island. I could see Infinity rotate through the western bridge. However, they could come into contact with Reject. They might be aware on the kill feed that there has been a squad wipe by Reject onto Infinity. Therefore, that allows, star 628 by Reject. So that allows Infinity to be aware that Reject could be hanging around that western side of the map by the bridge. Therefore, Infinity might slow their rotation down or be a little bit more cautious. I hope that is the case. If they go in blindly, they could get caught out by Reject.
And I feel like if Reject have done their homework, and clearly they have, they should also have an inkling as to like how Infinity like to rotate when it comes to these sort of
That's
zones,
true.
right? They always
Yes.
wait for the second zone. And now that they've already eliminated the nearby threat of 6 to 8, I wouldn't be too surprised if Reject just brave the blue and try and catch Infinity.
Why
on the
not?
rotation. But Infinity, they seem to be one step ahead of Reject. They're going to be making for the rotation early on. And somehow, I don't know how they're able to thread the needle. The only one time they got caught off guard was 6 to 8, right? That one time, I think in one of the league games. But apart from that, they always seem to find the timing to
And-
sneak their way through.
And I'm going to be a little bit kind of controversial on this. I've always had a bit of a personal belief that Military Island as a drop is really not that good of a drop.
I agree.
Really. I've never been a massive fan of it. I think it's a false sense of security. I understand teams like to have that as a loot position because it tends to give a lot of loot. It tends to, like, you have your level 3s there, you have a lot of stuff that you can grab hold of, but rotational pathwise, you're very isolated, and it's rare I see a team consistently have that locked under their control, and I think Infinity is one of the first to pull that off, and you're right, so I'm really glad you brought that up. The only time they've really ever been caught out is when, and that was purely their own mistake as well, being honest, but that's the only time.
They do remind me of the, since, I mean, for me, obviously, most of the storylines I'm going to try and draw is from the South Asian side of things, because I do that region much more, right? But they remind me a lot of the old Stalwart guys, or the I-8, the old Pakistani side.
Yes.
Always, no matter what, dropping on the military island. But I feel like sometimes they do get caught off a rotation, like you mentioned. It can be very iffy. They still manage to, get a lot of points. But I feel like because they drop on military island, that's why they always struggle getting the chicken dinner, because they always seem to lose a number of players on the rotation. Infinity, they just seem to be a step ahead, though. Like you said,
Yes.
even I'm not a great fan, but just the way they're able to get that timing, man, it's unreal.
Phase 2 pops up and it continues to go over to west, but it does eliminate the military island and a good chunk of the water. Lumberyard Hill is going to be a big part of this phase number 2. You see the Xavier dead center in the circle. BTR a little bit to the west of them. You do have MS Chambori on the western side of that prison hill, and Down One Gaming down by the roadside to the west of Lumberyard Hill. So this is really interesting to see. FaZe Clan, one of the teams fighting for the final spot, or one of the final spots in the PMGC East Finals, are moving through Yasnaya. Deadeye's guys had a torrid Super Weekend number 3. They're on the northern side in Mansion.
Yeah, God, Tani, do you want to go up against Sarah? because we know how good he can be, but unfortunately this time around his teammates are nowhere nearby in the vicinity. And I guess there's so many 1v3, 1v4s you can, you know, clutch out on your own in one game. So Sarah will eventually fall, but you know what? It's okay, Sarah. It is completely fine. After that opening wipe he got pretty much almost single-handedly, you know, he's done his job. You know, he's done his job.
Yeah, he served himself very, very nicely indeed. So he can have a bit of a break in lobby as we move on forward. 57 players still left as Enigma Galaxy, and I definitely echo what you said at the start of this game. I think Enigma Galaxy have stepped up massively, and I think they've represented the MENA region as a whole in a big way. That turnaround from the Super Weekend 3 last day has been monumental, and it's been a consistent evolution as well. It's rare they've looked incredibly weak in these games, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. I said that they were better than that I had no doubt that they would come back, but maybe I didn't expect it would be as heavily as they have across this PMGC East. Deadeye's guys are going to have a little bit more traffic as they moved away from Mansion into a little bit more of a centralized position on the underside of that Prison Hill. It's a great spot to go to. A bit risky as a full squad, but I understand with Deadeye's guys and how poor they've looked across the Super Weekend, why they are sticking as a full squad within that compound.
Yeah, like while we're talking about FaZe and, you know, the Xavier, you can't really fully count on Deadeye's guys though, right? They can always step on up as Duello. They're going for a bit of some drive-by and the okay. Our reject on a bit of a warpath here today. They seem to just not be stopping. They're hunting everyone down.
Well, look, they love to get eliminations.
I
love
it.
Their overall stats in the Super Weekend points is just a tiny bit more weighted towards eliminations, and they've recognized through their experience on the global stage, going right back to last year's PMGC when most of the players are playing for Blue Bees, that you know, you need to be a confident team. You need to be an aggressive team. And we've seen that shine through massively now. They've corrected their game style in a strong way on playing for the late game in a bit more of a calculated manner. But like I said, this is the final day of the Super Weekend, of the PMGC Super Weekend, and they've got nothing to lose. But that circle, sweet Mary Mother, Jesus, I think I can safely say that's a kick in the face.
I love it. That's amazing. A Milta Power final circle with all those cliffs and about 50% water. Hell yeah. Hell yes. Okay, maybe not for the players, but at least for us, the viewers. This is amazing.
Look, Deadeye's guys. MS Chamburi. You got Rico Infinito already there. It's just scrambling. This is where the better teams will know how to play this in terms of, I get why teams are like going, okay, we need to get into circle quickly, but sometimes stay back, let everybody else go in super quickly, let everybody else take each other out, then we have a bit of a easier breeze to push in. Credit to Deadeye's guys, they've gone in as a unit, they've gotten an initial knock on Rico. They shouldn't look to push on this because there's an easy possibility of a third party, but that suppression knock is a big thing, and Deadeye's guys have 2 warehouses to play around. That's a lot easier to deal with than kind of only 1 warehouse for the majority of Rico Infinity.
It's so surreal. It almost feels like I'm watching a whole different map altogether, because how many times have you seen so many teams in this part of the map into its multi-power, right? So I'm just not used, like, it's kind of like a dissonance in my head. I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like, you don't see so many teams here.
So big. So big. Genesis Dogma going into Mini Milta, where Enigma Galaxy already handled in. You have BTR across the sidelines in their buildings in towards the circle. Gets a knock into one of the Genesis Dogma players. A hell of a day yesterday for BTR. 2 chicken dinners bookmarked to comfortably secure their spot inside the PMGC finals.
All right, BTR, Bigatron, they're looking to accrue a few more points. They had a great past couple of days, really not necessarily catapulting themselves up top, but they've definitely done a great job, at least compared to their counterparts in the form of FaZe. Definitely looking to make quick work here of Genesis Dogma, who are getting harassed. I'm keeping my eye out on the easternmost side of the island, and I'm surprised how Stalwart managed to find themselves. They've managed to just avoid everyone and find themselves on the cliff. That's impressive. As Marshall, Cryptics with a great knock onto Logan. Of course, we don't see the action. We can take a look, of course, at the kill feed. Right now, the BTR are in a bit of a stalemate as Infinity are trying to push into the direction of El Chapo. But backup is arriving. Marshall 1v2 right now, as Newsy should find El Chapo and will be quickly put down. But Marshall will also be spotted, and Cryptics, they're just taking this fight individually. There's a lack of cohesion in the way they're approaching this particular fight, and because of that, Infinity, they're going to make quick work of it as we see yet another circle shift. And MS Chonburi are in a great position.
The three teams as well kind of fighting for, well, the three teams kind of fighting for one of the arguably the final PMGC final spot is FaZe Clan, Deadeye's guys, Xavier. Xavier, FaZe Clan, they've been punished by the circle shift. Deadeye's guys are still in it within Milda, but that southern coastline position, by the way, is unplayable. That southern coastline beat, so it's not only the water, but you can't even play the southern side. Everybody's going to be on the east on Mini Milda or the north within Milda Power.
Yeah, no one's going to be looking to play on the beach, but if the zone does shift there, it's going to be brutal. Daybot has been, he's being harassed by the three members of Rico Infinity, of Reject, beg your pardon, and he will finally fall. With that, we say goodbye to Genesis Dogma. As a Reject, this warpath they've been on, it's been comparatively easier fights. They've been just working as a pack, as a unit, trying to take down players who kind of all by their lonesome in phase. They are somehow dodging all these nades. But look at MS Chonburi's position. If they spot FaZe, this could be free kills, and I say that, and Ponzai, he hears me, and he's gonna tap away. He needs to first get that res on the NC2, but Jimmy finding MR5 and Nova could get a free shot onto MS Chonburi if they do have an angle.
I would have preferred FaZe to try to send it into Milton. They're trying to get there, but okay. Four rivals, how are you doing? Corpai says, meet my M249. Appy is going to be put down to 10 health.
Oh, not looking good at all for Four Rivals. 2 members knocked down. Oh, that's it. That's it. I don't know how he even died. What did it just? Was it a Molotov?
Tony
It was a
K.
Molotov.
Molly, yeah.
Yeah, that just. Well, that's the Four Rival chicken dinner just, getting evaporating into the air. Well, Max, I share your pain. Deadeye's guys, they've been holding on to this particular warehouse for quite a while right now, but they haven't really been able to, or they haven't committed to any fight. They're just keeping their opposition at bay, but not really looking to take any fights. And this has been a problem for Deadeye's guys, right?
Yeah.
They try to go for displacement points, but eventually they just get overwhelmed.
Here's the thing though, I've got to give them credit because I think they've been a bit more proactive in this position. We've seen them throw nades towards FaZe Clan. They're aware that the next shift is definitely less likely to continue in their direction, so it's really important that they create that push. So I got to give them credit right now within this game one, but indeed you are right. They have tended to play more for the placement, stay quiet, and then they get drowned out 50 minutes into the game. MS Chonburi, though, they're getting drowned out by the might of Stalwart. 2 of their players knocked down. I believe it's just NC2 left alive.
Stalwart, they've had the best position thus far, but yeah, they have to go up against MS Chonburi, but they're making it look very, very comfortable. MS Chonburi spread quite thin in a 2-1-1 setup, meaning that TG13 and Pop, there's nothing they can do. NC2, though, he's got that edge. I don't think he's going to be able to climb up the particular cliff, though, but he has his other teammate nearby. So MS Chonburi, never mind, he's been taken down, so MS Chonburi just down to the 1 member. And Stalwart Esports have stolen that position away from Chonburi. And they're in a very good place here. Okay, this shift is absolutely brutal.
No, it's I'm kind of going to disagree. A southern shift would have been way more brutal because it would have been down on that coastline that was already unplayable. Whereas up in the north, you have the kind of buildings and coverings of
I mean, it's great for Stalwart. It's great for Stalwart, for everyone else, though.
Well, for the 3 teams that are fighting for that final spot, it's also healthy enough for them because FaZe Clan, I feel, are going to be less punished by Deadeye's guys, and they can focus on maybe cleaning a couple of teams up down south. That's my idea.
I mean, you said it perfectly. Even though Infinity were just at the edge of that plain beach, that open beach, look at how it just got mowed down, right?
Yeah.
From above, trying to transition a little bit further up north, and Newsy might be the last man standing. No, they still have a couple of players alive, but yeah, they've been spread quite thin. And Nova making quick work of them. Ragey, vehicle sounds. I don't think it's been heard though. Duello, Ragey, they're spread very thin. And yeah, for Reject, it's all about just trying to accrue as many points as possible. Maybe try and, build a little bit of confidence heading into the East Finals. That one gaming. Charging in. Rico Infinity having to hold it ground, which they will do so pretty convincingly. Getting a couple of knocks already. Nades are exploding left, right, and center.
Oh my lord!
It's Marcus. They're getting third party by Deadeye's guys. Finally looking to strike. And you blink and you miss it. That one gaming. They're out of here.
I regard them right now as a safe team in 15th, a total of 195 points, 25 ahead of the Xavier in 16. So that's a bit of a cushion. But one elimination this game, 11th place, I think that's a total of 2 points. They can't repeat that. We'll see how it goes for the next game onwards as BTR still up as a 3-person team, get the knock onto Duello. 4 eliminations so far, and I like how they're playing this game, recognizing that they're better off playing as late as possible into the circle and seeing how many eliminations they can get.
Oh, that keeps smoking. I'm very worried because Tunny could ruin. Never mind, Tunny.
Oh my lord, Newsy.
Okay, what's going on? What is even going on? They're getting absolutely ruined by God Tunny. He's just basically dismantling them. He's looking for the final player as well, who's inside of the water. He should know where Luxy is, but Luxy, there's no way he's going to be able to strike on a God Tunny, but he could. It could be sneaky. Never mind. It is going to be Starboard Esports action from the distance, able to knock down Tunny. So there is still an opportunity here for BTR to stay alive. They were looking good, man, and then just one man completely ruined the day.
The Xavier 0 eliminations, but still up as a full squad. Deadeye's guys 1 elimination, still up as a full squad, but FaZe 3 eliminations and up as a full squad. Every single point counts. That's why I keep on highlighting it. That's why I'm keeping an eye on it. As the next circle has popped up, it's centered up quite nicely. It's helped the Xavier, but the FaZe Clan and Deadeye's guys, they're gonna have to battle.
Deadeye's guys, now this is where they need to stand and deliver. It's a 4v4 right now between Deadeye's guys and FaZe, and FaZe have already found a knock. And FaZe are actually not in a good position. They're getting pinned down by action that Mini 14 could completely ruin the day. And Newsy, I don't think he's even got any first aid kits remaining. He's been on low HP for a while as Pika with the Zoom banger just completely decimates Vidon. It's not looking good. The push comes in though, and Tony K taken down. Quick trade in the form of MR5 with the Tommy of his own. Able to take out Frag Boy. Rated Sir has a lot of work to do. He's got to go up against MR5. MR5 ducking and weaving. But he will eventually fall as Deadeye's guys are making quick work. Still a player remaining. Corpai will be taken down. Rated Sir doing everything by his lonesome, and he's going to be able to get the res as well. Turulov and Shifu already making a move. That was all in Rated Sir, and he stood and he delivered.
He stood and delivered, but FaZe Clan threw massively. Why were you taking 2 kind of fights at once? Why weren't you all pushing into the warehouse? Why was it 1 man at a time? Come on, FaZe, you're better than that, but credit to Deadeye's, and they keep themselves up as a full squad. He did stand and deliver. Stalwart on 10 eliminations. Xavier yet to really make any noise, but are into the top 6, still up as a 4-man.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? BTR, even though they have 5 eliminations, only 1 member staying alive. A top 3, I won't lie, it's looking kind of grim for the side of BTR. Nima Galaxy as well, down to the 1 member. Rico Infinity, I say them, and Prestigo is going to be taken down by Turulov. Stalwart are in 10 eliminations. Not a man has gone down yet for them. And Luxy, the final member of BTR, his job is to avoid the danger in the form of the Alpha Predators right now in Milton Power. That is going to be Pika, but as he tries to get the timing right, because he heard the buggy move away, he tried to make a play, he tried to make a run, but Action, he spots him, and Luxy is trying to race against the blue, but Action is keeping him pinned down, and BTR, I believe the days are numbered, as Rico Infinity will also be taken down. Luxy able to patch himself up. You know he's going to get up. The moment he pokes his head above that ridge, Action, he's got a bullet with his name on it.
And that's why he's hoping that Stalwart will be distracted by another team so he can make it in. We'll have to wait and see. He finds a knock. He finds a kill. The Xavier will finish him off. That puts Stalwart, I believe, down to 2 players. Yes, indeed. They
That's kind of crazy. The fact that he was able to get the Kinhawk onto action. But yeah, the Xavier now stalwart down to being whittled down to a two-man side, and Deadeye's guys with an incredible opportunity being presented to themselves, because again, Deadeye, the Xavier, they're going to be focused on Pika's position. We know how dangerous it can be. Freak's nearby as well, and Deadeye's guys, the only thing going against them is the fact that the zone has shifted heavily in favor of the Xavier, but there is a bit of cover. They can make their way in, but Lamborghini's position on the left-hand side, that could completely destroy their chances.
It's a massive flat terrain, kind of that pathway in front of them for Deadeye's guys. The smoke road needs to be created. Not a big smoke road. I gotta appreciate that they're smoking where they want to go, more so than the path line there to begin with. Shifu is the first to make it across. One by one makes sense, because you know nades could be thrown towards those smokes. So Shifu's testing the waters, while the rest of the team will now follow suit in a vehicle, which makes a lot of noise. Keeping one behind, Torolov is there to support. Rabis takes a couple of shots off. The Xavier are aware.
Yo, they're not aware. They're not aware of the man behind them, Pika. The rotation all the way coming in from behind. And while the Xavier are hyper-focused onto Deadeye's guy's position, it could be Pika to strike. And I don't think they're aware of this. Now, Rabis? No, they're completely clueless. They're busy harassing Deadeye's guys who are just content, just lying in wait. Look at Pika's position there. If he gets the timing right, he can easily get a couple of knocks, but Top will be found by Freak! What is that from Freak? He gets the nade, and with Top getting knocked down, now Pika has a decision to make, and I think at this point, he just holds on to that little protection provided by the cement. He's not going to be going for the res, and Top, he will bleed on out, leaving us in a 4v3 v1. Lamborghini, though, he's aware. His spider sense starts to tingle, and he's like, wait a minute, there's another member alive. Pika was somewhere nearby, and a couple of warning shots, and Pika will have to slowly crawl back.
For me, Deadeyes are playing for top 2, and that's okay, because they've had a proactive game with quite a good few eliminations, so in my eyes, a second place would be such a strong base amount of points in this final game. Yes, I know every point counts, but with such a big, massive mountain to climb for Deadeyes, this will be a good start.
Can't count out the Xavier as well. They need this big game. They need to start to distance themselves away from the bottom 4 teams. Pika using a little bit of that smoke cover, able to cross and over. Fragboy will fall. The nice guys still not replying back, and they are just a sitting duck for the time being. Shifu, number of bullets being rattled off, but he's also getting shot at by Frankie. And the timing is great, but the nade sails in a little too deep, perhaps. And Shifu is doing great.
Oh my lord!
Gets dropped as well by Turulov, as Deadeye's guys, I think they've had enough. They're taking the fight with the Xavier. Frankie having to be res, but for the time being, it's a two-man standing for the side of Deadeye's guys. Sorry, for the Xavier. Deadeye's guys, Shifu making a run.
Oh
Freak's there. They're right next to each other. Shifu seems to be aware, but Freak's fully patched up. Shifu, he checks the corner. He goes to the free fire, but he's more than ready as Freak on a sliver. 1 HP. Not even a sliver. He will stay alive. The nade, does he find him? No, it doesn't. Freak's still alive and kicking. The guy is a magician.
I kind of get why you push in as a solo, but I also think, why would you push in as a solo? You're down to 2 players.
Pika's still there, Imperium. He can be the X factor here. Turulov pushing in. Freak he's only got bandages, so Turulov, your times is right. He knows he's there on the corner. Molotov, yeah, that's gonna flush Freak out. Comes Freak firing. What a play!
What?
Freak absolutely ruins Deadeye's guy's days. He is a clutch god, and now he's got to go up against the Xavier. It's a 1v3 for him. Never mind, taken down. It's all on Pika now. And Stalwart Esports without having to do much. And you got to bear in mind, they have so many eliminations as well. And even though we fall to the very end, a second placing with about, what, 12, 11 eliminations? Stalwart's going to be happy with that. But the Xavier, with a chicken dinner, Imperium, we were talking about that. They really needed this one.
I can't believe this game. Not only did we start off with crazy circle shifts in the first 3 phases, but the way that ended, the Xavier, they got a chicken dinner yesterday. They needed one again today. You said it right, when they need to start, bridging that gap between them and the bottom 4. They were coming into today's games in 16th, but not in a healthy 16th position. You don't want to be on the edge of that cliff with 1 foot hanging off. nearly falling off, right? So it's important for them to end this game one with a chicken dinner, but to give credit to kind of Deadeye's guys, 4th place, quite a few eliminations. FaZe Clan, not as strong as they would have hoped, but I see what they're trying to do in these games, and I sense the hope of it. The team that I'm kind of a little bit now more worried about is Down One Gaming, because that chicken dinner leaves Xavier a lot closer to Down One Gaming than Down One would like, right? So, you know, we're seeing this kind of running, moving target throughout this day. Every single game, every single point, it's getting so damn spicy, blah.
It's getting spicy, and I like my spicy food Imperium. But yeah, this is getting squeaky bum time for a lot of these teams. And for Deadeye's guys, I gotta say, you know, maybe a little bit more aggression. We also understand why they want to play for the placements. But Freak, you can't take anything away from him. He had no business winning this 2-1.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, but to give Deadeye's credit, the reason why I say it is because day 1 they got 21 points. Day 2 they got 13 points. So to me, this is a big plus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Still, you know, any points are good points for the side of Deadeye's guys. We're going to be jumping straight to the analyst desk where we can break down what was probably my favorite Erangel game this weekend.
Gentlemen, don't you enjoy... Okay, well, not you, Tarzan. Tarzan, don't listen. Gentlemen, Max, don't you like having facial hair? Because I do.
Yeah, feels good.
I think we're going to have another person on the broadcast relatively soon who might not have any left. You see Xavier take home a chicken dinner, 22 points, stalwart as well, soaking up 23. What a finish. And I feel like we were all in agreement there that Xavier really kind of didn't deserve to win that at the very end, considering how they played out some of the positions.
It was a tough one, but who would expect a true Milta power finish, Jason? Answer is almost no one, but actually shifted so many times over to the eastern edge, and it actually ended in top of the buildings of Milta power. And Xavier had the best building, and the circle kept going their way. There was a lot of circle luck involved, but they were able to at least keep teams away. But I think also, Tarzan, is other teams doing mistakes, right? Like, DE should not have been going down that easily. And to Freak to be able to pick up a 1v2, like, they're just giving that win away for free.
It's hard. I mean, he's a pretty cheeky solo player in there, and he for sure knows how to do that. But man, build to power finish is like, do these players even know how it looks like since the Erangel 2.0 update? Like, so I think it's actually interesting to see how they actually use something, the immediate landscape analysis and all that stuff to like cause some play. As you can see, Freak with the solo play allowed him to top the charts here.
I love it. Longest elimination distance, 7 meters. That has to be the first time we've seen it be this low ever in PMGC. But I mean, definitely deserved at the very end. As we were saying before, he pulls off the 1v1, has like no HP. You see him try to pick up some meds. He only has bandages. The Molotov comes in. And what does he do? Instead of sitting there, runs out, gets the quick spin, picks up two cool eliminations, and honestly getting them up the placements as well. A fantastic job by them. But again, Deadeye's guys, a decent placing for them, right? They were in 19th place at the start of the day. They're at 156, and Xavier was at 173. So they're 20 odd points behind originally. Yeah. But the problem is Damwon is 20 points ahead of Xavier, so now technically they're about 40 points behind, as we're going to see here in just a few seconds. Hey, you can see 35 points behind Xavier for them to qualify. And FaZe are still playing. They're just not doing as well, unfortunately. And DRS, well, they fell behind Bigatron. There's a world. There's 4 teams within like 10 points, 13 points away from them. It could happen.
We have to celebrate something, okay? Deadeye's guys overtook TJB. Finally, I was asking when it was going to happen eventually. They finally get it. Okay, that was a little bit mean. But yeah, they're able to overtake that position. That's fine. But still, you are not safe. But that was still a really strong result from Deadeye's, and the fact that FaZe did not get that strong of a result, that gap is closing a little bit, and they're now heavily back into the race. They had a little bit of a gap at the start of the day, so that third place actually is really good. Not even, sorry, I thought they were third, but no, they're actually not even third. They got fourth because of Freak. So that's actually the perfect game for Deadeye's. I think that they had a really good play, especially towards FaZe. Used the utility maybe a little bit too quickly, should have tried to hold on to those nades and mollies a little bit longer. That could have made it a lot easier for them to go for that push onto Xavier, but I mean, yeah, the teams at the bottom are able to get themselves some really good results, so it's going to be down to the wire as always, Jason, at this stage.
Down to the wire indeed, but not for you guys at home. Well, maybe it is, because we only have 2 days left of watching and earning rewards. You can see for the permanent unlocks of the treasure box. You can watch it in the eSports Center over here on YouTube and collect points that you can use to unlock these permanent items. Also, not to mention, there's a rewards button below the stream here on YouTube you guys can use. And even coming up on the 22nd of December, that's when the next box is coming out. And there's even more rewards to choose from, as you see here on your screen. That will run up to January 13th. But I do want to cast our minds back a little bit, because I feel like we had so much action happen at the very end that we forgot what happened at the beginning. Sara up against 628. Just manhandling them.
See, that's the thing. For a Novo to Saverni playing path, sometimes the important thing to think about as an IGL player is which teams would struggle, right? Like, what's too far for them or whatnot. So 628 and Saras at Reject, they share this similar like path where they need to get cars. And from what 628 did yesterday, I could believe that they know that's a hot drop that they can do. But Sara just held it so well. The 1v3 before the teammates even touch the ground, they're slowly floating back because they're just trying to glide so far. But he bought enough time, and that was just a clutch play. And 6A need to think again, but we appreciate the effort because they've done that once yesterday against MS Trimburi to the north of Chem Alpha. So yeah, but not so lucky this time.
Okay, well, let us know your guys' thoughts about this question down below us of which team do you think underperformed the most? Honestly, I don't really know what answer to give you for that one personally. Obviously, BC Swell is one that's going to stand out, but obviously there had to be a team who was at the bottom of the table. They just unfortunately didn't qualify a single time. So let's know your thoughts, Max and Tarzan. I don't know why your name is so hard to say there. You can think about it in this break and come back with it. We'll see you guys in a few minutes here for match 2.
Yes, but this will make it big for Semnot if they can get the chicken dinner. Now we're seeing a lot more information here. Yeah, what? What? Hang on, back in! Hang on, back in! Semnot with chicken dinner! What?
Release it. Oh, do this to them!
I'm so sorry.
You've killed them! Look at them!
FaZe still in contention though. FaZe up a real possibility.
Really?
I think it really is. Oh no!
Oh no!
It's FaZe down!
No! I'm so
On your
sorry.
face!
I'm so sorry.
Why would you do this to them?
I'm so sorry.
You've killed them! Look at them! They're dead! Huh?
Oh.
Excuse me.
He's waiting out.
Just needs to move forward.
They are out in the open, just waiting for the tree to provide some cover. You can see he wants to move out to the right-hand side here. He's going for the shots, lines up, the one for top, looks for the knock and action.
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9.
All right, well, welcome back to PMGC 2021 East League. This is our last day of the Super Weekend, of our final Super Weekend. And Max and Tarzan, you had your chance now to think about which team you think has underperformed the most. And I hope you're ready to answer, because Max, you're up first.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I would have to say FaZe Clan. You got so many big names in a team such as FaZe, and I expected them. I think I did a live before the show actually started, and I put FaZe in my top 5 potentially for the entire tournament. I couldn't be further away from the truth, unfortunately, Jason. Currently on the bottom of the page, not even sure to make into the league finals, and I expected way more from FaZe Clan. TJB too, but they don't have only S, so because of that, it would have to be FaZe Clan for me, yeah.
Tarzan.
Denice guys will be my choice. To be fair, they've got so much experience through 4 PMPLs, and they are still struggling when it comes to key moments. I think it's a mentality thing, right? You sometimes need to start investing into why. The maybe psychological side of things, where you need to develop some skills when it comes to how to absorb pressure, how to help each other in those moments. They can't seem to find the answer yet, so yeah, they will be my choice.
Okay. All right, acceptable. We see Miramar is going to be coming up next here. And again, historically, Reject has performed well on it. I'm curious of how you think the likes again of, I mean, all right, I'll keep Deadeye's guy in the conversation for now, but if they have a bad match, I feel like it's going to be too tough for them to come back unless they win back-to-back chicken dinners. But looking towards, Deadeye's guys, FaZe Clan, Xavier, Damwon, and maybe even Nova, because they're just barely in 14th place. Like, how do you feel like these teams are going to do, and which ones do you think can have that stand-up performance here going into our final Miramar of, I guess, quote-unquote, league play?
Yeah, if there's one team that comes to mind, I would like to see potentially get another win, maybe another back-to-back would be Xavier, right? They got themselves the Miramar win yesterday, pretty heavily too, like a very strong performance to go himself the chicken dinner with 13 eliminations, which is great to see. If they want to solidify their position and somewhat be safe throughout the rest of the day to make sure they solidify their position in the top 16, Xavier can make it happen again because they've significantly improved on this map. So I think they could be the team to take it all here.
Tarzan?
So, I want to talk about FaZe Clan because I remember, of course, them having a disappointing week one, and then I think the bounce back happened on this particular map when they figured out, how to do the rotations in the first two phases from Picado. So it has to be now. Like they can't wait any longer, and they've decided what 4 players to play, and I hope it will work.
Okay, prediction, Tarzan.
Nickbay Galaxy.
Okay.
No reasons.
No reasons. Max?
For a reason, 4 Rivals. They're gonna get a win. Even though I think Xavier could do well, I want to see 4 Rivals win. It's gonna happen today. I'm telling you.
I see. You also are a man of culture, of sticking to your picks. Infinity for me, of course, because I'm doing Infinity all day. You can just write that down. If I change it, you can call me out for it. I won't shave my beard. My girlfriend likes my beard, so I'm gonna keep it because I want to keep her. And also Max likes it, and I like to keep him around too, which I don't know where I'm going with this one. But I'm gonna stick with Infinity because they're gonna get a win today. I'm gonna be right, and then I think I'll be tied with Max in correct predictions. Obviously, with him choosing 4 Rivals all day long, it gives me a really good chance to catch up because I don't know what it is. Max, 4 Rivals just can't close out games.
Bro,
Sorry, Max.
Literally, they jump. Riff jumps out of the car with a mid-rotate. I don't know. Come on, 4 Rivals. We've got to stop the misclicks, boys.
All right. Well, Blood Imperium, why don't you guys tell us about how bad of a pick 4 Rivals is for Max as he takes into our second match?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You call him a man of culture. Is it a man of culture? Is it a man of delusions? I don't know here, Imperium. But I respect it. I respect how he's doubling down on it. Because I'm with him. I'm with Max the entire day. I think 4 Rivals.
Typical French person, just stubborn,
unyielding.
Just stick to their guns, unyielding,
Yeah.
Now, I was expecting to wave a white flag and surrender at some point.
Okay, all right.
That's
spicy.
I know. But the playing path is not spicy. It's an extremely healthy playing path right down the middle of the map from west to east. So it allows the team to get to wherever they want to. And on the desk, they kind of talked about FaZe and Deadeye's guys in Miramar. They're dead right. From a statistical standpoint, within their Super Weekend, at least respectfully, FaZe, their strongest map was Miramar, 13 points per game, and Deadeye's guys were 17 points per game. But those are like 1 to 2 weeks ago, right? So I'm kind of tempted to also say, hey, the statistics show one thing. This is the third Super Weekend where what feels like a million games into the tournament, and this is the final day. So really, that goes out the window. They just need to get the job done and get the points required to stay in the running and even push into the top 16.
I love how, we're basically, trying to pull off a Doctor Strange. We're all looking at the various possibilities, all the different realities, what's improbable, what's impossible, what's doable, to figure out who's going to be not making it. But as much as it sucks to be one of the teams in a situation like this, Imperium, like from a viewer's standpoint, it's so exciting, right? Like, sure, Genesis Dogma and Infinities and your Stalwart Esports and all these guys, they're basically confirmed to be playing next week. But the fact that they're going to be a couple of teams and it's going to be heartbreak, and they only have themselves to blame for it. Like, it's going to be like, look, BCSWL are out.
It hurts.
We've already spoken about them, and I'm sure they know as well. They're not quite ready yet, for this particular level, and it's fine. You look at Tang Bao, who were looking pretty good, but the fact that, you know, they had like middle of the pack performances for 2 Super Weekends and they just missed out on this one. Again, they have only themselves to blame. But the other teams, right? I mean, I'm gonna be heartbroken for them. I think the Xavier has shown that, you know, they can hang with the rest out there. We've seen FaZe step up as well, even though they, you know, had a very quiet week one. So two, and even Dead Eyes guys, a team who are always so dangerous in the region, and here they've just been quiet. Someone's gonna have the heart broken, and my heart's gonna go out to them.
And I have, that's why I continue, and I will always do my absolute best to have the utmost respect and love for these players and these teams, because I really see how hard they work. I see their growth. I keep an eye on as many regions and scenes as I can, and to have them reach this level is something they should be incredibly proud of. But we all have the pride in wanting to achieve more, wanting to get to the next stage, and when that stops, when that gets, you know, when you take it away from yourself, that hurts. It's gonna hurt hard for these teams. But at the end of the day, they've done their best. They've represented the region in a massive way, and they should overall be so damn proud of themselves, whatever happens. But in this game, especially, we're seeing no real contentions because of that clean playing path. No real early engagements. It's quiet on the western front. The phase 1 circle was also complementary to that playing path. A little bit on the east, and I will say it does, for a teeny tiny bit, hover around the island outside of the mainland. But for the most part, I can't see any team kind of clashing too early in this game. It's going to be a very calm before the storm, 5 to 10 minutes.
I know it's extremely unlikely, but I have to bring up the fact that the West boys had a final circle on the 2 islands.
I know.
And I said it earlier, I would give my firstborn child just to have that opportunity here before PMGC ends. And I can see there's 2 islands in the zone. Now, it's very unlikely. It's almost extremely improbable of us getting those 2. But if we do find it, man, I'm going to be super happy. Speaking of being nervous about a couple of these teams, how are you feeling about the right now looking like a real possibility of, you know, having to shave that glorious beard of yours?
Are we really going to talk about that elephant in the room?
No, we have to talk about it, because this is our final game for the day, right? After this is going to be John and Blank. We won't have a chance to put you under the lights. I want to do that, Imperium. Cool. How do you feel about going potentially clean shaven?
Not gonna lie, when I looked at the overall standings after our first game, my heart did definitely sink a tiny bit more.
A bit, yeah.
But in trust I have on DRS to qualify and the teams below, all not getting the points required. FaZe Clan are about 45 points or so away from, give or take 42 to 45 points away from DRS. But that requires them getting 45 points, and also the other teams above them getting their relevant amount of points, right? And right now, I still can't see that happening. We'll have to wait and see. Nova are a team who are, for the time being, behind DRS, so not gonna lie, I love you, Nova, but I also want to see you go down early on. For now, they're losing a player. Thank you, FaZe.
Paraboy.
What?
Oh, he strikes. How are they not aware of his position? And Paraboy finding 2, looking for the 3rd. Unfortunately, kind of runs out of bullets as Tony K and Ventura as they come in looking to help their teammates out. But Paraboy, he wastes no time. He finishes off the job, finding both the knocks and the kills. Now Tony K and Ventura is in a desperate battle against Order and Paraboy. Nate is going to be lobbed in. Order should be able to dodge it. Ventura has still got a couple of HE. Now Jimmy has arrived to the party. FaZe, it was even Stevens for a while, but now it's going to be 3v2, so they need to come out on top real quickly here, and Ventura's able to get the knock. Now the 1v1 against Paraboy, and Paraboy doing his best to keep them at bay, while Jimmy arrives to the party, and he has indeed, but it's still quite a distance away. Ventura's making quick work of Order.
Oh,
Paraboy
no!
able to get the reply. Knock, Tony K with the knock in return, and Jimmy trying to make his way in. Now Jimmy can go for the res on the King. And once again, it's going to come down to a 2v2.
My beard, by the way, at the moment is screaming, yes, take each other out. Let me grow, children. Let me grow. But yeah, that's what my beard is so happy that this fight is is taking
Your
place in a
beard is
massive way.
sentient.
I know, but I feel for both of these teams because whatever happens, whatever the outcome, as Jimmy gets knocked, both of these players are going to be surviving the rest of this game with only 2 players. And yeah, FaZe Clan win out overall, which is overall a net positive, but they've lost 2, and trying to deal with Miramar as a 2-person team is so difficult. And Xavier, they're rocking up right beside them.
Oh, for sure. It's not going to be easy. And I feel like FaZe have only themselves to blame. I mean, they knew where Powerboy was.
I know!
And they just went out in the open, and that Buggy just sitting ducks. They had no chance there. And yeah, FaZe only have themselves to blame, but at least they were able to recover. They get the wipe as well, try to make an escape. But Lamborghini says no, Adventurers. Oh no, he's been left behind. And Tony K is running for the hills. There's nothing he can do. He's going to make his escape, but Frankie is trying to chase him down. Frankie 007. Maybe he realizes he's too far gone, and there we go. The U-turn will happen. But in the distance, Genesis Dogma's like, hark, what are these sounds on the horizon? What is going on there?
I said this was going to be like a relatively quiet game for the 5 to 10 minutes, but no, it's all kicking off in the center of the circle. Phase 2 has popped up. It's shifted up north, so it opens up the El-Azhar Hills to being controlled. Down One Gaming are in a great spot to do that. 6 to 8 are already on those south El-Azhar Junkyard Hills, so that's good for them. And FaZe Clan disengaging away, they're in a pretty good spot.
Well, hi boy. Definitely BTR looking good. I'm feeling very uncomfortable for High Boy, though, considering how low he is out in the open looking for these finishes. But yeah, MS John Burry have evacuated the premises, and Tony K. Okay. KKK is alone against what I'll sometimes like to call the alpha wolves in the server. And he's going to do a good job getting an off there. That's another elimination, 0.5 for them. He's got to patch himself up, and that's the opportunity Scry and Action are looking for. Going to group up, free firing into the smoke, hoping to find him, but is nowhere nearby. Tony K. That M249 could shred them. He's going to go for the play.
Oh, I love that.
Tony K finds one, runs back up again. Now Scry. Does he go for the res? Going for the long reload. It takes about half an hour. It's like assembling an IKEA table. It's going to come peering around the corner again. Another knock with Tony K. He's found 3 members of Stalwart Esports. It's going to get it. He gets it. Tony K. The 1v4 against Stalwart. What a beast.
Oh my god. This is the PMGC. This is where giants are made. Mountains are climbed. Phase up. Kalaris will understand this. It's FaZe Sunday, baby. Let's go. Okay, he's on his own, and the rest of the game is going to be a hell of a battle. But Tony K showed. I have goosebumps right now. He showed why FaZe Clan are still in with a fight for the PMGC Finals qualification.
Meanwhile, this is Dogma. It's a Tart World Strike. That's a free knock and a free finish and a free elimination. But yeah, I mean, holy hell! I'm sorry. I think I just lost it there. A 1 versus 4. That's a real 1v4.
Oh my god!
So, I'm gonna go in a little bit of
like
a
that's a true 1v4.
That's a real 1v4. When people talk about, oh, it's a 1v4, I'm like, it's not a 1v4. His teammates are alive, right? His teammates are alive. Like if his teammates are knocked and he's all alone, then it's a 1v4. That situation was a real 1v4. Here, right now, in this particular fight for Sunan, that's not really a 1v4 because he's got his teammates nearby, right? So he's still able to, but I mean, of course, he goes down, and technically, I guess it is a 1v4 because he's none of his teammates nearby, but that was an ultimate, true 1v4 where he had to hold on against the entirety of Stalwart Esports. And sure, Stalwart might have made a couple of mistakes there, but how proactive he was, you know? He just read them like a book.
Like a book, yeah. Read them like a book, and it was a typical play from Stalwart. That's the thing, and Tony K was one step ahead the whole time. Just to kind of settle things down a little bit, FaZe have 8 eliminations, Xavier have 3. So this is pretty good for Xavier overall because they still have a full squad up. BTR have 2, Genesis Dogma have 1, all the rest have full squad 0 eliminations. Just as Dogma will clean up 6 to 8, they're out of the game once again. Nothing really to worry about, but it does continue to kind of leave the door open for the amount of land available in this circle. The phase 3 did shift big time up north, so the North El Azahar Hills. I was surprised that Down 1 Gaming played kind of so low towards El Azahar, more so than on those northern hills, but either way, now they can move on up. Nigma Galaxy wrapping around Deadeye's guys, but Deadeye's guys staying safe on that western side. They're going to have a lot more traffic, I feel, in this fight, as Anas tries to get a couple of shots at the Duck. One more bullet, there you go.
Duck was a little teasing, I guess. I'm trying to work in Duck there, but just nothing's really hitting me. But anyway, the bullets do hit him though, as Esketon will in the meantime be rezzed by Rico Infinity. Rico Infinity don't really have to worry right now. It's all about just accruing as many points, making sure they're comfortable. The MENA teams have really impressed me. In all honesty, right? Like heading into this event, we're like, it's gonna be the SCA teams, the Chinese guys. They're gonna be the ones to do the heavy hitting. Whenever I praise a region or a team, why do they have to go down? Cryptics, come on. I was saying good things about you guys immediately. Like BTR, they get a couple of knocks and a finish, and they're down to just 2 members. El Chapo needs to somehow make his escape. Is out in the blue, and the bullets are riddling that vehicle. El Chapo has to alight. And does he have time to get the heal is the question. He should have time. He should. But still, a very uncomfortable position to be in, because BTR, they're going to be hyper-focused on this spot.
Predominantly, all the teams are more towards the edge of the circle. Nobody's really in the center. I do get that, because the very center is kind of the valley either side of the mountain, and you don't really want to be there. But there is a lot more area to control within the circle than what is really being occupied. 4 rivals, Down 1 Gaming in 2 of the best spots. You have Nigma, a very nice spread by Nigma, by the way. They are gatekeeping Deadeye's guys in for the incoming circle extremely well. Xavier, off the back of losing Duck, have been able to continue to move into the circle from that western, from the southern edge. You have Infinity pushing in as well to the east of them, and Jensen's Dogma should be looking to take a couple of shots into Infinity, because their spread is pretty damn good.
The thing for FaZe though, right? Like, we talk about how they need the points, and sure, they have the points right now. 8 is not shabby at all. But
4th place in placement-wise.
Yeah, but they're not going to survive to the top 5, right? It's not going to happen. Tony K again. Yeah. All right, Tony K. He's got a 1v4 against Starwood Esports, and once more, he has to go up against BTR this time around. Incendiary is going to make life very uncomfortable for Tony K, but he's going to move around. And in the meantime, Reject could potentially third-party their way in and help him out a bit here. That could make things very, very interesting and very possible for Tony K to stay alive. He is harassing these members. And bear in mind, after he took down the member of Starwood Esports in this very same building, he was able to loot up to his heart's content. So he's got everything to work with, even maybe a kitchen sink. Hi, boy. He's getting the angle, but doesn't quite land the shot. The nade won't quite find him. And Tony K, with Reject having evacuated the premises, I gotta say, I think his luck's gonna run out. Yeah, this one's done. This one's done.
I feel for Tony K. I really do. And it was kind of one of those things where can't he just have a break? Yeah, he deserves a big applause because, like, he just didn't get a break. That was like 3 games worth of action for an individual player between the fights he took, kind of thing.
It's like a meme of like, it's like, guys, really? Like, I just want to be for Starwood Esports. Can I just get a break, please? And BTR,
yeah,
like, nope.
8 eliminations is still a good base amount of points, but realistically, every single game for FaZe, with 4 games to go, needed to be at least 12 to 15 points. That is obviously going to be heightened depending on how many points the likes of Xavier and Down 1 get, even Deadeye's guys as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Juni is good with his couple of shots to get a knock onto Reject. That's the strength of Down 1 spread on the El Azahar Hill. One of the Reject players did go for a wide rotation to the north of where the rest of the team are, and that's where he got caught out.
Yeah, as long as the circle doesn't screw over Down One Gaming, they're in a pretty good position, right? Like a lot of free real estate up north. The only team who could kind of throw a curveball their direction would be Dead Eyes Guys, who have opted to go for a longer rotation, avoiding Enigma Galaxy. As you pointed out, they were gatekeeping them, and they're going to be making their way in from that El Azaha hill you spoke of, where Down One Gaming are going to be lying in wait. So things could get very, very messy for the side of Dead Eyes Guys. There's 4 rivals. Max, man, he's gone all in with them. And you know what? I'm all in as well. I think, I believe they deserve one chicken dinner at the very least before the Super Weekend ends.
They do.
They 100%.
For sure. They do. They do. And it will settle a lot of, to an extent, doubts and even naysayers, kind of including myself, because I do firmly hold the belief of the winning team needs to be able to win games, as much as I can respect the consistency of 4 rivals as a whole. Prestigo throwing up a nade to connect onto Xavier, who has their last player up with only 3 eliminations. This could be a very poor game 2 for Xavier off the back of a chicken dinner.
BTR as well. Nice, so just keeping them at bay. Pop the first kill. Oh, Lucky out in the open, and he's very lucky. The timing works out for him. Still not able to quite take him down, but the other 3 members, they're still buying their time. Pubg's going to come running out of the smoke. He will be spotted from behind. Yeah, the wraparound is taking place, though, but Luxy out of the open. Calm taps coming in from Reiji. As we take a look also simultaneously at the zone. And Cryptic's lazy boy, is he by his lonesome? He's smack in the center. He's looking very happy there, at least for the time being, as Reject are also joining the fray. So for Genesis Dogma, even though they're probably looking at chops and they're like, we want to just take out BTR as soon as possible, the fact that Reject are harassing them is going to offer some window for BTR, at least for the time being, delay what is looking like the inevitable.
Yeah, the only reason why BTR is still alive is because Reject were third party. But that nade from Daybot says, goodbye, take care then. See you in another game. Yeah, I know. That was like the perfect caster curse, wasn't it? I'm just going to shut up for the rest of the game then. This is all yours, man.
Caster, stop top. You killed my team. Rico Infinity, in the meantime, going up against the might of the Infinity. And Frankie is out in the blue for the Xavier, the last man standing, as you pointed out earlier. But he could kind of ruin their day. And there you have it. He will finish off SK Ton. He's got time as well to patch himself up and make a run for it, but now that his position is known, Infinity should be keeping an eye on him, but they might not know exactly from which direction he's going to be coming in from. Logan, in the meantime, looting up the corpse of one of the fallen enemies, and there we go. Frankie trying his desperate best, but Logan is more than ready. He's gonna put him down. 2 members survive for Infinity, Uzi and Logan, but you know, they're sitting pretty comfortable, and considering the zone shift, things are looking pretty good for Reject, I gotta say.
Yeah, they are. And just to remind you, Dead Eyes Guys eliminated in the blue, nowhere to be seen, 1 elimination point. That's why when I highlighted the statistics of them in their Super Weekend in the past, Miramar being their strongest map, it doesn't matter because this is the final day and they end this Miramar game with 2 points. It's just not good enough. So it feels bad, man, as they try to continue to fight throughout the final 3 games for their spot in the top 16. Moving on to this game, Down One Gaming. Fabian's being knocked. Sasung is on his own, but Reject has him covered.
Come on, 4 rivals. Take my power. Take all my power. Try to get this one chicken dinner. Oh, Max, man, I can pretty much see him just wringing his hands, praying to whatever gods he believes in. Reject, I did say they were in a pretty comfortable spot, but yeah, just getting caught on the rotation, and I don't think there's much Duello can do to help out Sarah. He's got to move on in, and the moment he does... Tatar, biding his time, just looking to spot him, but Reject have found some semblance of cover... No, never mind the nade fight.
How does it feel, Blair? How does it feel, Blair?
Actually, no. It feels amazing. What do I do with this power? Who do I pick next? All right, Sung looks very safe and comfortable here out in the open. Sung's looking good. Sung's looking very good.
1 health. Oh my lord. Vlad, this has got to be one of the weirdest Miramar games I've ever commentated. None of the teams have a full squad up. Genesis Dogma have 8 eliminations. This is like Samok-esque in how this game is being played. Hamodi is knocked, so is Roof. It's just Lord left on his own. Nigma were the one team that had one of the most players up outside of Genesis Dogma, and now they've been whittled down to at max. Well, no, one, because Hamodi, he's not getting away with that one.
The good thing for BTR and FaZe, or even though they're out, BTR 7 points, FaZe with 8, right? So they're still going to be like, yeah, it wasn't a bad game at all for them. But if you look at all the teams remaining right now, these are the teams that are at the tippity top. They're going to be feeling comfortable. And, well, there you have it. Sung is gone. I'm so sorry. Lord will fall as well as Infinity. Logan duking it out with Lazy Boy, the last surviving member for Cryptics. Lazy Boy is going to pull off a freak. Unlikely. This Shack should board him alive. He runs out, though. He finally falls. It is going to be Booms to take him down with the explosion. And with that, we're down to the final 3. The Infinity with 2. Genesis Dogma with 2. And 4 rivals.
Oh, no. I was
Why
thinking
do it?
if Appy could have stayed alive long enough, Infinity pushing in to distract Genesis Dogma could have been the way forward. It's still possible, but as a solo, it's going to be made so much more difficult for them. Daybot looks to get the confirmation, but Genesis Dogma onto Infinity. That could be the distraction for 4 rivals to come in and swipe their first win.
All right, 4 rivals. I know it's just 1 alive, but this is doable. This is possible. And look at Satar and Daybot. They are so convinced. Oh, never mind. I think he's been seen. That was a nade.
Yeah.
No, he's been spotted. Oh no, 4 rivals, not again. Well, we say goodbye to 4 rivals, and Max and I simultaneously shed a tear. Uzi, his day's looking numbered. Satar, good fall. Oh, he almost gets a couple of knocks, but it doesn't take place. The Infinity will be taken down, and Genesis Dogma, they'll look good this entire map, and they will get a very well-deserved chicken dinner. But in all honesty, when we go back to this particular game, everyone's going to remember only one thing and one thing only. It's Tony 4K.
Yeah, Tony 4K. Caught Stalwart out in 4K with the 1v4. Incredible resilience. You can't ask for a better kind of solo play. You can't ask for that better moment to an extent seal his position in the history of PUBG Mobile. It's one of the strongest 1v4s I've seen play out. Really, like, just the way he was one step ahead and saw what Stalwart were going to do outside of the mistakes that were made. But like I said during the game, towards the tail end, this was such a weird game. We saw teams wiped out early on, especially considering how clean the playing path correlated to the phase 1 circle and how nice that kind of overall phase 1 circle was. And even the shifts towards El Azhar Hills, there's a lot of space to play within it, but with it being the final day, teams felt unleashed and the action unfolded minute after minute.
Yeah. I want Tony K to change his name to Tony Montana, because that reminded me of that had some Scarface vibes, right?
Yes.
Like Tony Montana, he's sitting inside, people are coming into his mansion, it's like, say hello to my little friend, and he just like mows them all down. Yeah, Tony K, like, he's Tony Montana for me from now on, and that's what he's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be. If FaZe do qualify and they make it, Tony Montana, it is gonna be.
We can always ask him to change his name for the finals to Tony Montana kind of thing. But I gotta say, I know they didn't win this game, but we do have to see as this is our final game of the Super Weekend stage. Infinity, what a performance they've shown in the PMGC. Over 100 points coming into today's games. It doesn't matter, even at the end, they're still there. It's just amazing how consistent they've been, and I'm looking forward to them in the finals.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the fact that even though they're tippity top, they haven't put their metal off the pedal. I'm very impressed with them. Jason, take it away.
I mean, Tony Montoya, what about Tony 4K? I mean, this man pulled off a 1v4 there against Stalwart, and it blew all of us away. I think Tarzan just getting like a quick drink of water, and he had to run back to his computer because he could hear us screaming what was going down there. But we'll get to it in a second. We're talking about, obviously, Genesis Dogma here. 29 points, a big win for them. Infinity in second place, 4 rivals. Not quite there when it comes to it, Max Ben. Yeah. But either way, I mean, the top teams taking points is not bad for the bottom teams.
I don't know what's happening for Genesis Dogma. I think they got a new type of utility in the game, and that's homing nades. They were just on point every single time Satar and Daybot just hit those every single time. And as you said, Tarzan, like, today we already qualified. Let's just train our nade game. Let's see how good it goes. And himself, 14 eliminations on that one, was an extra 15 placement points, 29 total. Genesis Dogma are just as impressive as ever. And they have to be one of the favorites with Infinity, right? Going into the league finals, because you just can't stop these guys. They're just too damn good.
Man, like, they were one of my favorites, to be fair, and I was a little bit, sad to see them perform, under the radar, kind of, just not quite there the past few days, but they are back with a versatile playstyle, and I think without them, it would look very dire, maybe for the East. Not really the case. I think it would lack a lot of colors without them, so the Komodo Dragon, as Blank called, are back from this game, and it's about time. Otherwise, I don't know whether they can do, show some great games in those grand finals, but look at Satar with his damage.
Yeah, big numbers. Probably the biggest we've seen. I don't think we've had a 1300 hop. I think we've had another 1200.
We had a 1400.
We had a 14.
He broke the graphic.
Okay, there you go. Right. Well, he's not going to break the graphic this time, but big plays. And as you're saying before, Max, I mean, the nades were on point. The utility usage was on point, and we're seeing why he's called the Magician and why they got through just based off PMGC points alone.
Yeah, that spread towards the end game too. Like, one of the players I think they improved the most for Genesis Dogma on an individual level has been Booms, and he was going for some very pivotal positions in that game to make sure they got information. They spotted out, for example, where Infinity were playing, Xavier, Cryptics, 4 Rivals. He was very proactive in this game to give that information over, and it's a pretty nice change up though. When looking at the rankings, you're still looking at your Deadeyes guys that unfortunately were taken down by Damwon, so they are going down pretty early in these games. Deadeyes can't afford to go out early because you only have 3 more games remaining now, Jason. There's that big sense of urgency, and Deadeyes are starting to fall behind with FaZe, and it's getting a little bit spooky for them.
Oh, yeah, but I focused on Xavier. You need 19 points. Not even 19, you need 18 points. The team above you needs 15. The team above that needs 12. We're getting into
You really want to lose this bid?
territory. Yeah, of course. I know we shared it before, but, why not do it again? But yeah, you're very right. Deadeyes guys, they have to have like a huge performance here in these next matches. Not to mention just them. FaZe Clan as well still need to have big performances if they want to overtake Xavier.
Yeah. When you're looking at FaZe, when you're looking at also Deadeyes guys, I'm gonna say I want to see some top 5s for these last games happening. I would love to see a win. I think I'm gonna say we need a win from Deadeyes guys. They threw it, unfortunately, on that first game on Meal to Power. They need to push themselves a little bit further to make sure they can secure those big point games. They're capable of doing it. I mean, they made it to PMGC, of course, so they can make those big games happen, but they tend to stumble, and I think that teams are a little bit stressed out, and understandably so. You have 3 weeks of play to qualify for the league finals, and it all comes down to this. Like, the amount of pressure these teams at the bottom currently have on their shoulders is second to none.
It's surmountable. Might turn them into diamonds depending on the amount of pressure. We see
that happens,
our treasure box is still going on right now until the 21st of December. So 2 days where you guys can watch and earn points. You can just unlock permanent rewards. You guys can do it on YouTube as well, besides the Esports Center in-game. And there's another box coming up on the 22nd of December up till January 13th. We can get even more prizes, more things unlocked for your accounts. If you guys haven't started, make sure you do it right here, right now. And not to mention, if you're watching over on YouTube, click that rewards button under the stream to get some extra points for yourself, to get even closer to unlocking the pan, as Max would be going for. Tarzan, I think you said the pan as well.
The pan, for sure. I like that pan. I don't know why. It's the colors. And so yeah, but I don't mind getting any of them, to be fair. They all look quite good.
Wait, was there colors? I'm colorblind, so I don't know what colors was on it.
Sky blue, a bit of
yeah,
but it's almost golden.
Saying the colors doesn't help if I never know what they look like.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, good question.
Jesus. Well, speaking of good questions, you can see here which team had the largest overperformance. So we're moving on from it, Tarzan. Which team had the largest overperformance, you think, in your opinion? I don't know. I think that's actually a really hard one to say. All of them.
There's a lot of teams that had overperformances that have done exceptionally well throughout this tournament, but I would have to say the Infinity. What was it? 100-point lead at one point above Stalwart in this tournament. I think they're still even holding on to that lead
at the start of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that much of a lead between first and second place is unseen. So yeah, it would have to be Infinity for me. There's no way.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess Tarzan, you and I will think about it when we come back. We'll be giving our answers, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll be heading to a break, but we do have our next match coming up in just a few moments, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back with some more PUBG Mobile action.
It's Ragey with the 4v1, taking down the whole...
He came in from the grass! Crawling his way up top, Zuxy's gonna find the line on him. And Song, he's just waiting. He's just waiting for MSC. Oh, he spots Zuxy! Oh, he's just waiting for them to eliminate each other. And he's finally gonna strike the moment. Zuxy gets a knock. Zuxy's found it. And now it is all on Song to make this happen. And he came in from the grass. And Song steals the chicken dinner away from everyone.
Wait for Stalwart and FaZe to somewhat engage on each other. They get in that vehicle and they wrap around the underside. It could work out. The one thing that's going to stop them is Beer 11, who's flanked on the outside.
Allow action to stay alive. That's the next one is a Molotov, and
Oh,
it's
that's
spreading.
perfect.
Oh, top! He can't even drop and roll. He can jump into the water, but that's not gonna quite pan out for him.
Tries to stymie the flow of Bigatron players as they move forwards. Gets a cheeky little angle as Lapis goes down.
I mean, for Yuhai, he has been the one leading this charge at the moment. Zuxy finds Divine, and now it's just a matter of time before the rest of Reject do fall. I think BTR realized they need to do something quickly, but it's Ragey Osio to find the double.
The man of the hour, he's found one, he's found two on the spray down. He's found
Oh
three,
my
finds
God!
four. It's Ragey with the 4v1, taking down the whole of Bigatron. He strikes back, and 3 players fall. Your dream might be denied. Bamboo is low, Jumper has the nade. It's looking good, a good cook. Oh, just needs to go a little bit longer. Finds on the back, and Bamboo falls. Team Secret wrested away from the high ground control.
But they are in the most uncomfortable spot amongst the 3.
How many times have Nigma been put down to like 1 or 2 players and they're still up as a full squad? I know it's impossible for the likes of Infinity or DRS to push on them, but that's incredible resilience.
So far from the leaderboard. Into the side of those buildings, misses the nade through the window. Struggling to make the entry now into the UMP. Reject Duello.
Ow! Somehow Imperium
Sorry.
stays alive for the time being. Oh, Fredo, that's not a good thing at all. Was it Max? Well, Max, how do you like that?
Well, Caleris first.
Yeah, Max. Fine, how do you think that happens now? Because they're guaranteed a top 4. Attacker and Longs off, but they just might be arriving straight to their doom. A Molotov taking so much damage as well, crossing from Nigma Galaxy of all teams. Freaking lord, he can never count it. He did! The kill for FaZe as Fredo's getting like, wait. How?
Oh no!
Control of the building, Ryzen.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Nope.
No! God! No! God, please, no! Come on!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately for you, we're not listening to us during the break. Maxman was making some odd sounds. Max, could you replicate that for us?
No,
really quickly
you.
here on it?
No, this okay. You
Max,
you
go
started this. Okay, I am not. You sounded like Chewbacca right there, Jason. Okay, that's how it was going. I am not.
Max, Max. I don't think that's what happened.
That's not what happened, Max.
Tarzan's okay. Now Tarzan, you really converted him to the dark side. He's a Sith now. Thank you, Jason. Okay, cool.
What you don't realize, this Max, is that I think everyone that comes on the desk knows that whenever I start to call someone out, the other analyst gets on my side because they don't want me to call them out. I think is the.
Spun Karga was nice before, then she started being mean to me. Now Tarzan was being nice at the start. Now Tarzan's being mean to me. Kalaris has always been mean to me because it's Kalaris, and I mean you too.
Maybe
Jason,
it's not me then. Maybe it's just people just don't like to be nice to you, Max. Who knows? But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PMGC 2021 East League. We'll stop harassing Max because I don't need to get an HR complaint from him about being bullied here on the show. We are going to be moving into our third match today. It's going to be over towards Erangel. And on our first Erangel of the day, we did have Xavier pick up the win. A win they desperately needed, though a win they probably shouldn't have gotten, to be fair. Deadeye's guys, as we mentioned before, kind of a little bit of a throw. And obviously, Freak from Enigma Galaxy was able to really fight back in this one. But as we move into our final three matches, you know, we're talking about the pressure before, Max. We're talking about how these teams desperately need points. But Tarzan, the closer we get towards the end of the day, the more possible it is we could see these hot drops happen.
Yep, of course, we want to see it. We kind of had it. We want more, but to be fair, Max made a very good point when we were watching at that first game, is the fact that Team Secret not being in the lobby opens up Stelben and Kameshki, and we can maybe see some of these teams using that option if they don't want to have that hot drop style. Like, these type of adjustments are still extremely important. So yeah, Max, I hear you. You know, I give you the appreciation when you are on on point with those, and so yeah, I want to see some adjustment coming through, but to be fair, hot drops would be my preference.
Okay. Really quickly here, I feel like we just really bullied Max so much that he's afraid to talk. Did you know, Max, that OnePlus is our sponsor here at PMGC? Did you know that?
It's true. Yeah. Man, that's great. Look at this. It's good.
Yeah, with its flagship performance and immersive 120 Hz display and hyper-touch technology made specifically for gamers, OnePlus 99 Pro, your best shot to climb the leaderboards. Okay, you're gonna try taking over hosting again. It's all on you, Max.
No. You gave me some space there.
I did not call for you to answer that. No.
Okay. Wow, look, good numbers from Satar. I mean, yeah, most of those have been eliminations from Nazen. 16? Okay, that's a big number coming out from Satar. I think most of those were actually nades that just came in onto reject, came onto full rivals at some point too. Man, Satar truly impressive. I don't know what to tell you. Is Satar and Daybot just too damn good throughout the tournament?
Forget about the amount that he used, is the accuracy. We saw it so many times on screen, and they were so on point. And it's also well-timed as well. I think sometimes it's about making use of the blue. So like using utilities, not just with the accuracy, but at the right time is extremely key here.
Well, you mentioned time before, and well, we are running out of it here. So quickly, let's get our predictions in. For me, Infinity, you, Maxman, who'd you go for?
4 rivals. Keep on going. Hell yeah.
Tarzan, who'd you go for?
Bigatron, Red Aliens, let's keep going.
Okay, so are you sticking with Bigatron the rest of the day?
Yes. Why not?
All right.
Like, I'm feeling it.
Well, you all know our predictions now the rest of the day, so maybe we don't have to mention them anymore, unless you guys just joined us a little bit later on. Then we will mention them again. We'll really hammer it home of who we predicted and probably how all three of us are going to be wrong throughout the entire day. We know one person who is definitely going to be wrong because they can't seem to win a match when it comes to a super weekend. Tarzan, did Tarzan look at you? I don't know. You know who I am going to be looking at, though, is these two handsome gentlemen coming in. John on a blank. Take us away here into match 3.
Thank you very much, Jason. Yeah, we've had a record-breaking set of points coming on through towards the bottom of the tables. That bubble is bumping up, and it's only going to get bigger. Blank, it's all to race for at the bottom of the tables here.
Yeah, I mean, it's close. It's so close. It is unbearably close at this point in time. And realistically, I don't know how I'm going to keep track with it these past next 3 games, but I'm going to make it happen regardless because we need to make sure that you guys at home are informed who's getting to these finals, because is it your favorite team? Is it not your favorite team? We will let you know. But we are heading into our angle, our third match of the day here. John starting things off with me and you, and we'll see how it goes for the teams in game.
Absolutely. Hopefully I can channel my inner human abacus and keep track of all of these points as we go, but Blank, it is going to be a tall order, as you say. Flame path from Mills of Power.
So, fairly central here. Does mean that the Infinity has to make a decision when they want to drop on North George or not, but realistically, at the moment, the teams that we are looking at, John, let's take a look right here. We got down 1 game, sat in 15th place with 203 points. Xavier right on the line
with 200 points on 16. But behind them is FaZe Clan, who's a fair ways back with 19 points behind them, 181. So things are getting risky for FaZe Clan. And we all said it'd be a tragedy if they didn't make it into the finals. But with the way they've been playing in the Super Weekend, it just doesn't seem likely anymore.
Blank, I've been saying pretty much since the start, I feel like if you get 200 or more points, you're safe to be in the finals. Like, you can be confident that you're going to be in. That has gone out of the window. This is the highest bubble metric that we've seen in any tournament of this format in the world, right? This is new unbroken territory, so it's exciting for these teams all to be pushing this hard.
Yeah, and with the Infinity South, 472 points, a clear 100 above Stalwart in second place with 366. Goodness me, they've taken a lot of the points that were available in this lobby, which has made this bottom side of the leaderboard so hectic. And it's whereas these teams are like just grasping for any scraps that they can find, it is really, really difficult. Not to mention a lot of the other teams at the top who are just leading by a fair amount. But looking at this one, it is so rough. Now, FaZe Clan, maybe there's some hope for them. Considering Tony K is coming off the back of a 1v4, a true 1v4 on Miramar. Ooh, I don't know, I feel like you get the confidence back and Tony K is like, come on guys, I can't do this all myself. I need you to bump up the performances just a little bit.
Yeah, bring up the rest of the team, keep them going. A little bit of a scrap going on. Nick Galaxy and Stalwart, neither really at risk at this stage, Blank. This is a little bit of a scrim, quite frankly, for them to get that practice in. Maybe we can see some alternative plays coming through. Stalwart clean in second place, Enigma Galaxy in fourth place. Actually, only 15 points separates these two teams as well, but both of them, they're guaranteed to qualify at this stage. I think it is mathematically impossible for them not to qualify. There would be so many teams needing so many points, and there's only 3 games left to play. That neither of these two teams can actually drop out at this stage. Circle drops southwest. Like, we've seen the Circle once or twice before, and actually Stalwart changed up how, 628 changed up how they played it. They weren't camping that bridge against the Infinity.
Yeah, which is largely due to the playing path here, considering it went up towards North George, so it doesn't really give them that free Primos spot right at the beginning of the game. So I think they're just getting to position at this point in time. I do think, though, if we look at these teams, DXAV coming off the back of a very nice game in Erangel 1. Okay, this is actually the 1v4 here. So top goes down, into the next, into Scry, finds the fourth. Honestly, what a lovely little replay we get from there. And he made it look so good. And it really was under pressure with him being so low as well, John, at the beginning of that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting that nade through the window, excellent. And the double spray down, he broke up that fight phenomenally well. And maybe, maybe they could have played around it a little bit better, gone a little bit more cohesive, or maybe not as aggressive. But you know what? When you're against one player, sometimes you just don't think that it's going to happen like that. I mean, we saw it with Reiji on Reject, and now we're seeing it again with Tony K.
I think that the funny thing is, for me, is like that M24 is probably the perfect 1v4 weapon as well, considering a lot of the fights when it comes to these clutches are lost during reload animations and switching to your secondary weapon. M24 with the vast amount of bullets it has in the mag, yeah, that's probably the best way to go. So if you're ever in a 1v4, you've got that bad boy on board, have some hope. It might be just that clutch play that you're able to make happen. Looking at this map, though, again, DXAV coming from that eastern side. Sometimes they struggle with it, sometimes they don't. I think most of the times they have struggled is when teams have started to come up and harass them. Genesis Dogma in particular. MS Chumburi tend to rotate over the top side of Yasnaya. Oh, dear. Action just about gets out the way as he slips behind that window.
God, Pachinki, a hotbed right now. The team willing to give it up. Action, how did he get away from that? On the windowsill, Freak with the DP on a clean bead there, but just able to roll out the way. Action absolutely keeping himself tucked in, just about though.
Oh yeah, the bullets are passing right through this guy. So it's a little bit unfortunate. Ralph though has a nade in the window. It's a good bounce. That's great bounce, in fact.
I thought he was going to go for the window on the right, Blank, but no, he arcs it perfectly off the beam of the window. Gets the rebound, and you can't say fairer than that. Stalwart, lose a player in Pachinki.
Yeah, it's probably the best way to go about it as well, because you hear the nade go on the left side, you think you're safe, nade bounces off the window into your room, and you're like, oh, well, it's curtains for me, I guess. So a little bit unfortunate.
This is really tense now, John, looking at the bottom of the tables. I think for DRS as well, and maybe Imperium's clean-shaven face, looking slightly risky. Though I will say it has to be a perfect storm for this to happen. Deadeye guys coming up on Nova's position. Closer, tries to heal.
Actually gets it off as well. Order around the side, and Jimmy trying to play backstop there, but Deadeye's guys play the old switcheroo, and Order goes down. It's traded out, but Jimmy now at risk. Has to swap to the secondary. The AKM not quite landing the bullets. And in the meantime, Deadeye's guys are swarming. They're moving through. Everybody at the back, and Jimmy's low on ammo. Has to fall back onto King's position. Trade off on those reloads. Now King can start to push out, try and control the swell from the Deadeye's guys, but not quite finding the shots around the side. Deadeye's guys, they're fighting for their tournament lives, but in goes King, finds the knock from the back. Paraboy's gonna fall as well, and it's Shifu to stay alive for the Deadeye's guys. 1 versus 1 in this position. King pushes out the heal, doesn't come through, he swings out, it's not gonna be good. King keeps Nova in.
And this is the beginning of that perfect storm, because quite frankly, it is sad days for Deadeye's guys. But Nova is one of those teams that has to pass DRS if we want to see a 17th place DRS. But a great beginning fight there. And I think Deadeye's guys have been giving it their all. But going down first here in Erangel on our 3rd match of the day, it does not look likely that they might be able to bump themselves up the massive amount of points they need to get into 16th place anymore.
Yeah, they are at the start of this game, they were sat 28 points behind Xavier in 16th place, and we know those points will only go up, so it's likely that they're going to be looking towards 30 to 40 points, right, to be able to get by the end of these 3 games, but they've just lost one of those chances, so they're now on 2 games. They basically have to get 2 back-to-back chicken dinners for the Deadeye's guys at the end.
Or even just a large one. And even then it's worrisome, right? And I think that's what Max was saying on the desk, is that, you know, it's no longer a case of just bump those numbers up, bump those numbers up. It's a case of you need a win, and you need it now.
Not to be this time around, though. Pachinki still rages on into the night, but I feel like they're just trying to posture, I feel, at this stage for the finals, potentially, to keep hold of Pachinki.
And I'm sorry to say it, I don't want to keep coming back to DRS, but if the top teams continue to play this way, almost lackadaisical in their approach to the final matches, knowing that they've got it in, it gives so much more opportunity for those teams towards the bottom to get some points, because they don't have to worry about these try-hard teams towards the top taking any points away from them anymore, because they're not exactly putting in the entire work. This is more about posturing for finals, and that's okay, but that doesn't gather you points. It just basically tells the enemy team, we're better than you, we're taking Pachinki in the finals.
There's that massive scoop of teams, you're right, in sort of the top 7, really, who aren't slurping up all these points whilst they can, and maybe whilst they have the opportunity to. So that's what's created that interesting situation. I think that's what you're driving at, towards the bottom of the tables. That's sort of what you're driving at there. Which, do you know what? I'm all here for it. I love a little bit of a switcheroo. I love it when the points totals deny the statistics that we come into this tournament with, and the fact that Xavier have already passed that 200-point barrier, but they are definitely not safe, I think is really, really good fun.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to make the final game, when we get to it on our angle, extremely exciting. It's going to make Sandhawk even more chaotic. It's going to be mayhem on Sandhawk, that's for sure, when we have our next game, purely because, you know, that's such a dice roll of a map. And you have to be very good to get consistent wins on it. And I think one of the only teams I think has figured out Sandhawk is the Infinity. They're one of the only teams that I think to myself, you know what, they're fantastic. Now, you could maybe argue Nigma Galaxy, but I think figuring out that you can heal out the blue isn't necessarily figuring out Sandhawk.
Or is it?
Or is it? Who knows?
Never know. Max's horse in the race, 4 rivals. Gonna be rolling around and under the purview of Xavier, one of our crucially placed teams, 16th in the tournament right now. Every point, every single elimination, every time they ladder up, another bead of sweat drops off their brow. It's just not where you want to be right now.
Not at all. MS Chimbury dropped down to Pattaya Hill, so not going over the top of Yes9 here, which is fair play considering we get the circle down towards the south side anyway. So we're going to hang out here for just a little bit longer. Blue starting to come in as well. So most teams already within this circle, no problems whatsoever. Stalwart not dropping on top of Novo means that Pachinki is where they will be landing, so there won't be any more teams coming out that way. The Infinity coming up now against Reject.
The knock in the compound, by the way, wasn't from any of the players in the compound. It was Newsy over on that hillside with a sniper. Taken down Origi. Has been knocked across the way. Actually, it was both the off angles. Okay, so he's handling the off angles. Duello stuck in a sticky spot. Manages to vault into the window to avoid the majority of the damage. Sarah on an off angle. I mean, he popped off in big ways in that Erangel. But has to hold out against the top dogs themselves. The Infinity for now will stay alive.
I think for Reject, done enough at this point. I do think there is some alterations that have to be made coming into the finals, because there are some situations where they do find themselves caught off guard, not absolutely ready for fights. Though this is a good chance for the Infinity to get some payback for yesterday, because they were taken down by Reject. It wasn't the greatest of fights in Erangel, and this is fair play for the Infinity. Taking this fight again in a similar location to try and figure out what went wrong yesterday, I'm all about it.
He's all about it. He's all about it, and Infinity all about the houses now. Uzi looking for those flanks. Reject regrouping. I feel like they want to go for this fight. I feel like Regi's moved into the rest of the team there. Obviously needed to get rezzed, and they did manage to do so. But I feel like they want this fight. They're trying to push around the side, but Godtani's on the Bastion guard. Divine goes low. Sara goes even lower. Does get knocked, in fact. And another nade to see them back. Oh, beautifully placed. Finds Divine as well. The Bombardier. Godtani moves forward. This guy's been on form all tournament blank. He's a force to be reckoned with. Even jumps into the Molotov and just goes in for a spray. That's 3 now for Godtani as he finishes out with the flush. And now it's just Duello up close and personal in another 1v4 situation for Reject.
What the hell just went on over towards Pachinki's side? Top just got a 3K over towards Enigma Galaxy. All right. Infinity finally finish off Reject, so that is a little bit of redemption for the Infinity from that sloppy fight from yesterday. I was not happy about it, but this was far better, and I think it's a case that they were in position, they knew what they were doing, they were ready to go, whereas yesterday they were caught, you know, very much unawares versus their fight at Reject, and they weren't able to regroup quite so quickly. So that was interesting to me. Though this circle, even more interesting, heading down towards Sosnovka, has much of the channel in it, but really it's this northwest side that you have to play it.
Oh, we're on board at the moment with 4 rivals versus Nova. The Infinity has the off angle. One of them gets sprayed down. Newsy as the forward guard for the Infinity towards the central areas of the circle as we head down towards the river. But as 4 rivals locked in combat, Damwon getting ahead of the game. They didn't think they'd be at risk at the start of today, but they are as well. 4 rivals, they're just being peppered from every single angle. Nova, they've been given a little bit of a lifeline here by the Infinity.
Powerboy with nade in hand. Having a fantastic tournament so far. On the other hand, I think is it's 4 rivals who've just slipped away from the top of those rankings. Nova down to 3 players, so it's imperative they get that 3rd player back up again. Another nade tries to send it inside the crate. Does a little bit more damage. And this is more about making sure that res doesn't go through quick enough. Now with Nova having all their players back up again, they can start to think what they want to do next. But aware of the other teams around them, specifically the Infinity.
FaZe, one of our crucial teams. A team that really needs to pop off to be able to see themselves safe. Ooh, that's a bit short there, Tony. Ooh, got to be careful. Get back behind the geometry. Does go off in front of him. Cryptics. Maybe given a little bit of a bamboozle there, but the 1v4 master himself pops a long nade in, and a lot of damage to Lazy Boy.
El Chapo's got an interesting position on the backside, though, so FaZe will have to be aware of that, hopefully, when it does come through. Corpy have been supplied a couple of smokes to get him into position, but it's Tony K once again. Goodness me. What's happened to this guy? He's been injected with just determination to fuel him through this last day.
Goodness me. He is absolutely on the ball, on the swivel, looking for the res of the Corpy as well. He's a machine. Keeping FaZe going in their darkest hour. And what a time to do it as well. If you're going to stand up now. Ventores, though, not going to be so lucky. Does go down. And Tony K, look at him. He's immediately on the response. Moves into position. Lazy Boy trying to move forward. He takes a bit of damage. Hits the deck. Gets to safety. repositions behind the building, makes the successful drop. And Lazy Boy controlled for now.
Grim,
Oh
grim circle. Honestly, you've got Genesis Dogma and Damwon Gaming basically playing for those points at the moment, but Genesis Dogma got a really strong spot. 6-8 equally in a very good position, but FaZe absolutely need to win this fight out because it's the path into the circle that Cryptics are trying to take. FaZe are currently playing guard dogs at the moment.
It's the off angle for Cryptics that you have to be worried about. Tony K steps up for the fight with Lazy Boy. Senke being dealt with by Corpai in the meantime. Vintor is slowly losing health. One knockdown on the coastline, but Tony K does fall there on that beach side. And with it, FaZe might have a little bit of an opening, a wound to be pressured into by Cryptics, but an aid downhill from MR5 sees Marshall slowed.
I mean, with only one player up in MR5 now for FaZe, with all other players down on knee, goodness me, it's stressful. Lazy Boy does pop up. MR5, he has to stand strong now.
Senke on the off angle could be crucial into this fight. MR5, his time is running out, ticking away. Venturis falls. Senke, information given over that he's pushing. He knows it's a 1v2 now against Cryptic. Goes out wide, they line up for him, and he gets one. He rebuffs the first. Senke now up for the fight. 1v1, both last standing for their team. Senke around the side phase, fighting for the tournament life, but he goes down, and MR5 will not stand up to the test. Cryptics take control, and they crucially get a couple more points and get a little bit safer to getting over DRS.
2 games remain now for FaZe, and it's so unlikely it's going to happen. There's still a chance on the board for them, but still going down to Cryptics, not great. Honestly, Nova now has to battle versus God Tunny, who's feeling fresh off his last fight.
Finds one, swivels a 180 for the second, and the spray down is good. King cannot stop the usurpers to the throne, and the Infinity dominate in the gas station.
Infinity now has to sit back, sit tight, get those players back up again. Again, though, if the Infinity takes this game, it just opens up the bottom of that leaderboard once again. It is so stressful for them. 6-8, I think this is a real opportunity. You know, yesterday I said that I appreciated their playstyle a lot more. Again, they're tight-knit today. It doesn't feel like they're trying to do anything crazy. We see far too many hard splits for them in terms of the team. But I think this time 6-8, they're playing much more as a team unit. Whenever we see plays come through from 6-8, it's often one solo player kind of doing something in terms of a 1v2 or 1v3, but there's no backup. And I think that the 6-8, that's so important, but TG13, how does that happen? Opens up a little path into the circle for himself.
Infinity, they're in this circle, sure, but they have 2 players down. Melon looking for the res onto Gottani. NC2 up first and will get the flush off to Logan, bring them down to 3, and they're trapped like rats in the corner, and the snap shut comes the trap from MSC.
Now just Newsy remains. Had a fantastic beginning to his tournament. See if he can bring it back here. Nice nade over the top. Just played this position before versus Reject, so he kind of already has the beat. He's been practicing here. TG13 tosses another nade, but a great push from MSC. That drop out of the vehicle outside the blue to get an instant knock just opens things up for them. Dick Xavier dropping onto Cryptic's position, gets some information, and then sails away.
With both FaZe and Deadeye's guys going down earlier, Blank, this is a chance for the Xavier to open up a points lead. But if they fall here, they are just as much at risk as they were towards the start now as teams start to fall. One of the Xavier has been knocked. Cryptics, 2 players alive. Down in the divot, they took down FaZe. Can they spoil the hopes of the Xavier? But Lamborghini, he doesn't know the off angle. Frankie looking for the res. They want everybody alive that they can have.
That should never happen. Rabbids saw both of these players. The fact that Lamborghini opens himself up to that side swipe is absolutely tragic. It's a huge mistake coming through from the Xavier, but hopefully they can bring it back. But with 2 down, there's a potential now for Cryptics. There's one behind them. You can't leave him out over there.
Lazy Boy's leaving. He's getting out of dodge. They need these reses as well. I think you have to leave Rabbids. Everybody else on foot, and they have to beat a hasty move to the east. MSC fly up the mountain and tumble down the far side. Oh dear, that's probably not what they wanted to happen, but they are into the water, and maybe that might be their saving grace. Pop into the fight with Genesis Dogma. A 1-2 fall, but Daybot stays tall.
Goodness me, with 2 going down for Genesis Dogma, that seemed risky. If they managed to bail out their car a little bit faster, and perhaps the car came with parachutes, maybe MS Jamburi win that fight. But instead, a few send downhill.
7 eliminations on board, but 6 for Genesis Dogma. They want to regain one of those top spots once again. They were looking so good last Super Weekend. Fidan could find some more shots. Rico Infinity team playing a very precarious position outside on this rock face.
DXavier, 3 defeats there, 3 points that they can start to open that gap between them and FaZe. It was there already. It's fairly significant, quite chunky. The more placement points they get, the better, but Frankie falls and now just 1 player out for DXavier. Cryptics as well, trying to crucially snag all those placements.
I think for you right now, if you're DXavier, your best bet is to head to the water. 33Z though, he ain't slowing down, he's moving out. Push out to the blue, give himself some safety behind the cover, but 628, they're wanting to clear these teams.
Oh, Lamborghini, he's still alive, but he's not going to be for much longer. There's the rundown, and that is going to be DXavier down in 8th, and the race for 16th remains good for FaZe. And even for Deadeye's guys to be able to mount that comeback, although they are a little bit further on the outside track.
Only 3 eliminations for DXavier, penning them up to 203 points total. It is not safe whatsoever, John. God, this next circle is so grim. Junie, out in the water, has the right idea of it, but he's not on the bridge. Lazy Boy still in playing this one out for Cryptics. It's nice stuff. NC2 will have to move out as well. But this is time for 628 to control and conquer. And I think for 628, it's been a long time coming. Though with that little aggressive play, they've made this hard split happen once again. I just want them to play a little bit more together.
NC2 taking breaths when he can to just slow down the drowning. And going up, swimming out wide. Junie as well, fairly low. Lazy Boy making that swim as 33Z on the top of the bridge. Takes it away from Genesis Dogma, who are going to have to move. Just a little ankle tickler.
It's a really good move from 33Z, actually. After the knock comes through onto Genesis Dogma, immediately they send out 1 outpost guard to the center of the bridge, which is going to give them a lot of control, considering this circle is directly on top of it. But now it's a case of having these outposts. And you know what? This is why I would accept the split, because it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. Sunan getting knocked, though, by Daybot is terrible.
That's really unfortunate as well. 4-6-2-8. Nicole trying to get down that hillside as well. But with 33Z the only player on the bridge, if it heads out waterside, he might be in luck. The question is, what sort of ordnance do you have? Do you have those nades in the back pocket?
Again, ways of having those heals on board. Yu Yang tries to make a play. I love this from Genesis Dogma. They send out a fair few, making it look like there's none left up there. But Daybot remains waiting for that push out, knowing it's just open ground ahead of them. And this is Genesis Dogma to a T. It's like you can never count them out.
And the nades start to move. They know that 33Z is on this bridge. It's such a difficult position to get in towards, though, when it's such an open roadway. Unless they fully smoke out the approach, which it looks like they've just done.
Yo.
Here comes the crash for Genesis Dogma. The nade onto the back there. 433Z making more smoke, and he drops down. He knew that he wasn't going to win that fight. Gives the high ground and plays the swim game.
Genesis Dogma's take there was a complicated set of events, and they made it across fairly easily, to be honest with you. Like, that test was nothing to them. Now Genesis Dogma hold the bridge. See where this next circle goes. If it heads back to the mainland, this is Genesis Dogma's game.
Well, there's 7 teams remain with 9 players. I think this probably is the highest ratio that we've seen between those two, right? I mean, 6 of these teams have just 1 player alive.
Oh, goodness me. There's still a little bit of land in this next circle to be played around. But no, it's just a waiting game. It really is the waiting game. This is the awkward thing about the bridge, is throwing grenades down there isn't going to work too well. You can technically, I think, stand for a brief moment on the side of these pillars, but it requires someone else to help you up there. And with the fact there's only singular players down there, I don't think there's anything that's going to be happening.
Well, I'll have to wait and see. They are fairly safe from above, but there is still some shoreline around, which I think they're worried about. They're worried about Genesis Dogma dropping down and taking some shots, but as soon as that finishes, I feel like they are going to start to be a little bit more aggy in the water. See those weapon swaps coming through. They're trying. Oh, they're trying.
It's just that brief moment that you can pick up a weapon, turn around and be like,
but rather at the moment you're having a few problems. I think that for Genesis Dogma, it's really being conservative with your grenades now, because you have to clear out each side of these bridges, so the nades have to be very, very strong. So Nickel, I think one of the best bets for them to do right now is to head down towards the mainland, send 2 down there, give all your meds to one guy up top, send 1 into the water to scout out where the players are hiding, and then get your other teammate to throw nades at that position.
Yeah, I mean, you could see there, Nickel on no first aid, drop those over most likely. And they have a massive advantage as well to be getting on with. This is what the teams behind the pillars were worried about, having a player on the shoreline to deal with.
Yeah, because it means that if we see this next circle move towards Nickel, yeah, there's Satar. This is exactly what I wanted to see. This is perfect.
We've seen it go wrong before, though, Blank.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. I have seen it go wrong before. I have faith in Genesis Dogma not to make that same mistake, honestly.
Yeah, no, it was unfortunate. The last time it went wrong, yeah, it was a little bit of a misplay. The player on the top of the bridge dropped down into the water without healing and not going down, and actually ended up losing.
It was the stimming which was the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to make sure if you have to drop down, you have to stim. I think this is the exact same circle.
I think the other one was on the Georgia Pole Bridge.
Yeah, actually it was. Ooh, give me that loot box.
Satar's like, wait, hang on a minute.
I can move the loot box in the water. Alright. Cool stuff.
I like
keeping that away from the other teams.
I like the little bobbing animation that comes up when it resurfaces.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Either way, let's have a think about this, John, because who really needs these points?
Damwon and Cryptix.
Junie absolutely needs it. I think Cryptix is fairly safe at this point, to be honest with you. So I think for Junie, the top 3 placement is you can go for it from here. This is a smart play.
Okay. Getting into the buggy.
I wonder if they've used all the nades up, because you can throw nades from the back of the buggy.
Oh, he's on the land.
And damage in water. There we go.
He's on land. Here comes the nade to the long pillar, but everybody's watching that now.
That is gorgeous.
Falls. Oh, it's whack-a-mole now, Blank. Oh, dear. Isolating that pillar. Divide and conquer. Everybody scatters. Starts to be worried, though. I mean, if players start to surface, you can see Lazy Boy moving through. He will spot Satar. Looking to move to the coast. Nickel not going to be too worried. And C takes a lot of damage. Junie staying right at the back. Lazy Boy into the buggy. Satar probably knows about this, but he gets the heal off as well in the back. And now 2 players from Genesis Dogma. They are very worried. There's the nade over the top as well. Nickel goes low. Lazy Boy looking to do damage here. As Stalwart get eliminated as well. Junie laddering up and up and up. In the meantime, Lazy Boy has to heal, but will not go further. Cryptix down. Now 14 remain.
Yeah, this is perfectly played for Genesis Dogma. And like, you know what? I thought they didn't have any nades left, but they were waiting until the zone had shrank much further to eliminate the possibility of error from these nades that they were throwing. Honestly, what a play from Genesis Dogma. I think they maybe watched that circle and think like, what would we do in this situation? And I think they figured it out. This is really cool stuff.
They've been theory crafting. And there goes the crate again. I love it. They're repositioning this crate really nicely. Everybody's just swimming around, and there goes MS Chonburi. Down 1 Kia, but no, he falls down. 3rd place, though, excellent point scoring total there for Damwon, and now just 1 player remains. 3 first aids for Daybot. Doesn't have any stims, though.
It's fine, though, because in that last game, the issue was there was a singular player with full HP, and that was the problem. Here, for 33Z, he's got no HP, and he's most likely going to die to the blue. Really well done to Genesis Dogma. I don't think you could have played that more perfectly, and I think this is what makes Genesis Dogma such a good team, is because they're an intelligent team. There is a clear game plan. From that lighthouse to the top of the bridge, to the underside of the bridge, clearing out players from pillars, it was a very clear turn of events for them, which happened in sequence. And I really am very impressed.
Good news as well for Damwon, getting up into that 3rd place position, sweeping a whole bunch of points. That's gotta feel good, right? It's gotta feel a little bit more reassuring. Same story for Cryptics as well, getting fairly far, and they had a couple of kills on the cards as well. A couple of eliminations going to be adding to those points totals very, very nicely. So some of those teams towards the bottom, great news. But for the Xavier, for FaZe Clan, for Deadeye's guys, it's still... Oh, goodness me. I'm getting overexcited there. It's still very much down to the wire.
It is, and I think that, honestly, you could really ask for a better circle at the end of the day, right? When you get to match 3, but it really does take a lot from a team to carefully calculate how they want to play that one out. This is a great play from Forest. I didn't realize this. You also got to consider that Genesis Dogma, it was not free for them. So many teams trying to take that Lighthouse off their hands. You had, obviously, Down One Gaming push up to that position. You had MS Chamburi fly over the top as well. So it was a very, very difficult game. 6-8, I was so happy towards the beginning of the game, John. They looked so good. You're like, oh, left it.
Well, that's the thing. That could have been the game-deciding moment, right? That roll-up, if they'd have stopped early enough, they could have been in the Genesis Dogma position.
Yeah, absolutely. 33Z just goes to deny the point in the end. Why wouldn't you? But I think for 6-8, it's a case of, oh, they look so good, they're together, and then they have that one aggressive play versus Xavier, and it just was all for nothing as they hard split again. Like, yes, we're the best in the lobby.
Genesis Dogma, though, they control, they dominate, they play it perfectly. Blank, they've been taking your advice. Let's head back over to the desk.
Such a crazy zone to finish things off with, but such a phenomenal result yet again out of Genesis Dogma, looking to chase down Infinity here and try to catch up to their points. But more importantly, it's all really about how the points have shifted up and changed up now across the bottom of the table for the teams who are trying to get into our finals. But you can see here, 29 points for Genesis Dogma, 6-8. You know, I know you've been a big proponent of them, Tarzan, over the course of this event, but they've, I mean, I don't want to say they've been a little bit lackluster, but I will say they have been a little bit lackluster as of late.
I think, how do I say this? I feel like the adjustments when it comes to how wide they want to play, when it comes to splits, is still something to be calibrated, right? And sometimes when it comes to transitioning into the late game, sometimes they don't know how to find that balance, you know, between the aggression and survival. And I think that is the key thing, unless they get to play a God compound like before around Quarry. Otherwise, there's still a few things for them to figure out.
Okay.
For 6-8, I would say they may be resting a little bit on their laurels right now because they know they're qualified. They maybe want to try things out. I'm just hoping, Jason, that, and I have to agree, they've been a little bit lackluster. I hope this is not the standard of gameplay we can expect from them heading into the league finals. I would like to see things maybe get switched up a little bit, though. Onto the second page. That's another poor result from Deadeye's guys, and now they're getting to the point where there's that gap that's starting to be created between that 16th, 17th, 18th position, and Deadeye's guys, they're going to need 2 huge performances in the next 2 games to even have the odds to make it in that top 16. So Deadeye's guys might be the first team that is still playing today to actually fall out of relevancy.
Yeah, I mean, if the pressure wasn't already really difficult before, now the fact is you just are running out of matches to play with. But Daybot here, 1,000 damage done yet again. I mean, it seems like we see him just as often as the likes of Newsy as well towards the top of the table in terms of just being MVPs. And to see that consistency come out of Genesis Dogma is really, to me, at least proving they were deserving of qualifying through these PMGC points. But speaking of points, take a look at this. DRS have been passed by Cryptics. Nova, 15th place. Xavier, still 16th in FaZe Clan. I hate to say it, but the route they're going, they're not going to make it.
Oh, wait, so 6 more points from Nova. We need still 4 more points from Damwon. There's a world, Jason, where these last 2 games, you could see DRS drop off significantly to the point where they could actually go into 17th. But we talked about it. We're not seeing those huge results from FaZe here. We're not seeing the huge results from Deadeye's guys. And there's that gap. There's currently around 20 points between that 16th and 17th position. We need to see FaZe and Deadeye's guys step up these next 2 games. That is the main storyline that's happening right now. But not only that, we've seen Nova has been slowly dropping off. Damwon able to get some consistent results throughout the day. Nova's also in a very scary spot. Imagining the reigning champions not being able to make in the league finals would be the biggest upset possible here.
Yeah, I've just done some quick maths, to be fair. Like, I feel like it's still extremely hard, like, for FaZe to go in and for Deadeye's guys. So, like, on the other side, it means teams like Nova are relatively safe. We need at least 10 points per game from FaZe Clan, but that means that the Xavier can't get any points. Like otherwise, FaZe can still get pushed down. The Ice guys need at least 15 points per game to at least to tie with the Xavier. I feel like that is a tough ask, like from this team, because they've not been showing anything.
All right, well, we do have the treasure box still going on, as you guys all saw on your screen. Two different boxes, one that ends on the 22nd or 21st, and one that starts on the 22nd, ends on the 13th. You have different ways to get permanent items unlocked free as long as you're watching the Esports Center over on YouTube. And you can also click the rewards button under the stream to get more points to potentially get these unlocks through and to get your awesome pans. Now, Tarzan, last time we talked about this, you tried explaining color to me, to someone who said they were colorblind. Have you come up with a new way to explain this?
I'm just gonna draw their attention to the pattern. I just think it's a pretty cool pattern. There you go.
I'm
just
pattern blind as well.
That doesn't exist, I don't think.
Well, you see, Sandhawk's going to be coming up next, and as we were talking about for FaZe and Deadeyes, guys, the points they need to qualify now, they have to play Sandhawk, which makes it even harder for them to be consistent and to get the points they need. I mean, they're going to have to just go for it here, it seems. But also, a question we have for all of you at home is, well, who has the most luxurious hair? Now, it doesn't say player, so my answer is going to be Bleh.
I was about to say, we could pick a talent, actually, for this one. I would have to agree with you. I think the Blair would be the good pick to go for this one. Yeah, Blair. There you go. He's got my vote.
Yeah, we'll be on the same page. Let's play Blair, like, because it's hard to maintain that type of hair, so props to him.
Yeah, all right. Well, I could have said Imperium's beard hair, but that's going to be gone, it looks like, at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head to a break here while we get things ready for our fourth match of the day. We'll see you guys in just a few moments.
Really is a... Oh, do this to them!
I'm so sorry.
You've killed them! Look at them!
FaZe still in contention though. FaZe up a real possibility.
Really?
I think it really is a real... Oh, no!
Oh no!
It's FaZe down!
No, I'm so
On
sorry.
your face!
I'm so sorry.
Why would you do this to them?
I'm so sorry.
You've killed them! Look at them! They're dead!
Huh?
Oh!
Excuse me.
He's waiting out.
Just needs to move forward.
They are out the open, just waiting for the tree to provide some cover. You can see he wants to move out to the right-hand side here.
He's going for the shots, lines up, the one for top, looks for the knock and action.
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Welcome back, everyone. Looks like Bleh has won the talent vote. I'm assuming he's going to win the fan vote as well, but unfortunately not going to see him anymore today here on the show as John and Blank will be taking out the rest of the matches. But gentlemen, it's do or die time now. 2 matches left to go here for some of these teams, and I honestly can't tell you what's going to happen, except the fact that I kind of hope, you know, it feels bad that I hope a team doesn't qualify, but it's for good reasons. It's for Imperium to shave the beard, and obviously we'll see if that does happen when we do get to it. But Sandhawk next, guys, and it's 100% for these teams. I feel like going into this, no matter what, you're thinking, okay, most likely we're going to have to heel strap this.
Yeah, heel straps are going to come on through. I mean, that's what you always expect when you have one of the last Sandhawk games that are coming into the equation. But I have one big question mark for this game. This actually has a huge repercussion on our top 16, is we usually have that Painan fight that's happening between Nova and BTR. My question is, are Nova going to commit to an early fight versus BTR in Painan, taking that huge risk super early on to potentially lose the entire squad and get 0 points, or are they going to go for a secondary drop? I'm hoping for the latter. If so, that's a good change from Nova, but as we know, they are a very stubborn team. They don't like to change their drops, so if that happens, Nova just have to win the fight. There's no question here.
Yesterday, that was the focal point from my prediction, right? Like I picked I picked Nova actually, but then BTR continued to go to Pioneer and they won yesterday. So you know what? Like it might be just red and black again, but I may have to lean towards the red aliens. But it's also on the Northwest Island that we're seeing something interesting, right? We talked about 6 to 8, but to be fair, they were the only team that have really, really targeted drops to hunt a team down, and they did that against MS Dreambury yesterday off the north of Cam Alpha.
Okay, I mean, I think you guys are bringing up actually really interesting points, right? And it relates back to something we talked about at the start of the day of teams having backup spots ready to go, especially teams that are susceptible to being hot dropped and being knocked out of the entire event. So I am wondering, will we see those backup drops come into play here for some of these teams? And just quickly get your thoughts on that.
I think that would be a great choice, especially for Nova, right? You want to try and swap things up a little bit. You only have 2 more games remaining. Now more than ever, that threat of hot drop, even though a lot of people might not expect that to happen, but the threat of a hot drop is real right now in these last 2 games because 2 games, you can hot drop the team twice, and that's super easy to do and pull off. So we'll have to see, but you need to know where teams don't drop, where those are free spots, and if you see an opportunity, just change it, especially for Nova. If Nova commit to Painan, I think that would be a huge mistake, Jason.
Well, let's get our predictions in then. I'm going with Infinity. Max, I bet you're going with 4 Rivals. And Taurus, I think you're going to go BTR if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, red and black
Cool.
with that bet in Painan. Let's do it.
All right. I mean, realistically, can you tell me? Do you really think there's going to be a fight there between BTR and Nova?
Yes.
Realistically, you think so? I mean,
Yeah.
Nova not understand the situation.
I feel like they are
one
1-1 right now. Like when it comes to them fighting in Painan, I feel like it's an ego thing as well. They don't want to leave, but BTR have the edge last time, so they are going back.
Bro, if ego gets in the way of me winning potential, yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah. I don't want to see it, but
that's a tough
I think
ego.
it
That's
will
a big ego to have if you can't keep that thing in check. I mean, it's going to come down to that final match here after this one, but it is the penultimate match of the day, and it is John on a blank to take us straight into it.
Here we go, the penultimate game of the Super Weekend run. It's been a marathon for a lot of these teams, and the Infinity stretched out to a lead that is nigh on unsurmountable now. Blank, they will be claiming that top seed spot, but everybody's eyes on the bottom of the tables. Will DRS make it? Probably. Is it fully guaranteed? Absolutely not.
With FaZe having to get 37 points total the next 2 games, there's the T drop, as I'm now naming it, the very cool drop. It's Nova versus Bigatron. This fight has to go well, you know. I mean, Nova still has to jump DRS for it to happen, but in a way, I think we have to feel for DRS in the situation as well. They're probably praying right now to make sure they get it into the finals. They did leave themselves an awkward placement points total with only 218, you know. To be fair, we said 200 points and you were safe, so they hit that. Fortunately, it's not the case here. They do need to hold on to this spot just a little bit longer. Again, though, this would require a FaZe win on Sandhawk or on Arangel. One of the 2 is great. We know FaZe does well on Miramars, but it's now these 2 final matches of Arangel and Sandhawk where they have to stand up. It's a rough one, John. It's a really rough one.
In big ways as well. And we're on board with this Painan fight right now. I mean, you can see Order's position. This is where he controlled the fight in Painan last time around. Got a couple of really good off angles. Paraboy up on the ruse, finds the forward outpost. Liquid is going to take a tumble. Really can't defend that. Bigatron lose a player early. Luxy spotted as well. Zuxi too close to comfort. Too far from comfort? Sure, let's go with that. King moves up to that off angle, and I feel like Bigatron just have to get out of here.
Yeah, it's time to leave. I think if Nova have figured out anything from their previous engagements with Bigatron, it's that this fight is now going to stagnate. Bigatron's very good at holding on for a long time, but if Nova just sticks around, plays it safe, they can quite easily get a full squad wipe without losing any members. I think last time we saw Jimmy taking a nice off angle. Unfortunately, didn't really come to pass with Bigatron being able to make some big moves. Cryptic's ever so close to FaZe in this situation. With the high ground as well, it is worrisome for them. But let's just roll it back just 2 seconds, because I said it's 37 points for FaZe.
Oh no.
Knock DRS out. This is a bad start. This is a very bad start here. Losing one off the bat. Terrible. terrible stuff. I said it was 37 points to knock out DRS, or have a chance to knock out DRS, but in happier terms of things, they really just need to get up to a 210 point mark, I would say, by the end of the day. And that should be okay. That is a guesstimate, by the way, just so you know. 210 point mark would be nice. A little bit further than that would be good, but it's nowhere near needing that ridiculous point margin to make it in. But losing one straight away, awful stuff.
That's really not great at all. The race that they have for themselves is against DXavier. Sure, they might not be able to cross DRS Gaming, but it depends on DXavier's performance in these next two games as well. It could be all the more dangerous. Currently, an 11-point gap between the two of them, with DXavier in the lead on 204.
I think for FaZe, here at least on Sandhawk, you do have to be worried about that chase as well, because DXavier have been improving their Sandhawk massively. I think that stopping this fight with Rico Infinity Teams earlier in the tournament was a really big change for them. And playing from this eastern side, nice and slow, kind of emulating the style of the Infinity early on, which is a big 4 split, giving you a lot of room to breathe. And with you having your back at your coast and clearing that out early, you really only have to worry about this 180-degree angle in front of you. And I really like that play style, especially the beginning of Sandhawk, because it gives you so much time to figure out where you want to go next. You do have Lamborghini ridiculously close to 4 rivals, though, which is worrying, but he should be able to stay safe. Sandhawk is a game of hide and seek, really, a lot of times, and there are a lot of places to hide. Fortunately for FaZe, not only have they had to deal with Cryptics, now they're having to deal with Stalwart. Beer 11 slowly making his way up to Scry's position.
I feel they know exactly where this guy is. I just get that feeling that FaZe have seen this player move up to this position. I think they might have been trying to bait him out with Tony K's rotation. And if they can get Scry, I mean, it's great. Obviously, every single point matters here for FaZe.
Yeah, and realistically, Scry plays this spot so many times for Stalwart, where they'll regroup on Scry's position. But there is a timer on this, because eventually Stalwart, no one else is in boot camp, so they don't have to fight FaZe this time around, with FaZe moving out a little bit wider. But there is a timer on it. With the rest of Stalwart being able to come up to this position fairly quickly, FaZe can either get Beer 11 and take this kill onto Stalwart on Scry, or just wait. But realistically, either way, that is a risky move.
Scry's been crawling away from this engagement this entire time as well. Maybe a little bit of a heads-up move, maybe just sheer luck to move away from Beer 11's slow, encroaching presence on the hillside. And you can see FaZe, they just don't want to put a single foot wrong. They've already lost MR5.
It really is the quiet before the storm for them. You do have to play it safe. Like I said, the alarm bells are going to be ringing when Beer 11 starts to hear the rest of the players coming up. Rico Infinity Team spotted a couple of players from Cryptics. If they can take them out early, it will make FaZe's position a little bit more safe, but I think Cryptics has got such a strong position on this ridge line. There's so many rocks to play around there, it's difficult. Scry has moved up now, and FaZe, at least Beer 11, will have heard that, and we'll hear the rest of the teams coming up. And this is the timer that I was talking about. Now, Beer 11 is in dire straits and has to play this snake play perfectly.
Didn't have a backpack on as well, so he didn't have too much in the back pocket to be getting on with. Back to the, I think he managed to move back to his cache. Only one first aid though. Wonder if he has any nades. Pika spotted on this hillside. Fairly actually spread for Stalwart right now.
This is a really good play from Beer 11, honestly. Getting up into position nice and early and waiting for the rest of the team to come up here, let their guard down, is good. Issue is the rest of the team from FaZe is not in any position to support him. Nova, once again, like I said, this fight was always going to stagnate. It's happened so many times, and they just play it safe. Zuxi just around the corner with the DBS. Has that first kill coming through from Beer 11.
As well, yeah, Zuxi does get knocked, but he gets flushed, and Luxi has an excellent off angle there to shut this one down. Beer 11 is in the fight of his life as well for FaZe, as Bigatron and Nova duke it out. Paraboy burning. Over on the fight with FaZe, Tony K to back up the rest of the team as well. Excellent regroup from FaZe, and Stalwart might just leave this position, not wanting to get in any more trouble than they've already caused. Nova, they lose a player, but they've traded.
I think Bigatron is good at making this fight hard for Nova. They haven't quite won it just yet. I think the off angles they take with interesting positions around Painan are really cool. Just set Nova back just a little bit, down to just 2 players. The ability to get Zuxi back upon his feet. Order has to move fast now. There's a lot of feet hitting the ground. Luxi moves up, can't quite find the position, throws a smoke out to distract for a short moment.
Pushing in on the top floor, moves to the stairwell, now can start to play around it. Zuxi bleeding out this whole time. Luxi jiggling, antsy on the ground floor here. He pushes in, Order goes in for the spray, but Luxi, he just doesn't want any part of it. I think rightly so, but out the window, takes some damage, and that could prove to be a deciding factor. Swaps the weapon into the barrel, and Luxi falls. Not a lick of damage over onto Order either. Now it's just Ryzen.
It's a good fight from Nova, but will it secure them really any more points this game? I don't think so. Still, getting 4 total eliminations at the beginning of the game is good. It'll see you slowly rising up those rankings, which is really all you need to do is just those consistent points. And if they're confident to win this fight in Painan, that's fair enough. That is actually fair enough. And go for a heal strat after this, try again to at least the top 7. It's a good plan.
Certainly is. Certainly a viable plan. Circle, centers, again, kind of onto FaZe's position. Right in the middle, one of our teams that we're really looking out for. If they can pop off here, that's something that we really need to be keeping an eye on here. Xavier, the team that they're chasing right now, out on the outskirts on the east, and actually you're going to have to push through their nemesis, Rico Infinity team and Paradise Resort. Enigma Galaxy, they just get backed off this Painan fight. They're like, well, hang on a minute. We're busy fighting in Painan. Order, though, gets shot down by Ralph. And Ace can come through. He probably knows that King's there as well, but the nade bounces just off the eaves there. Unfortunate for roundabouts.
Again, that's a good move from Order. Nasty nade comes through. Does get him back up again. Will immediately have to move in the house. Good pre-fire comes through from King, but moves the wrong way, I would say.
Doesn't get back into the house. The reposition comes through from the rest of Enigma Galaxy. Ryzen, if he stays alive here, they might not think that there's another team left standing. Order trying to stay alive. Lord moves close, but he spots the backpack. That's going to be it for Nova. And Ryzen now in for the fight. Spots one, gets the spray. Last player for Bigatron. Gets more, but not quite getting the knock onto Ralph. A nade being cooked. And a good reposition from Ryzen to move away from danger there. Knows that they're just going to post those through to his position.
Back in the mix for the team, Ryzen. Probably one of the world-renowned players. Honestly, so good in his prime. He's fallen off just slightly. 6-8 versus Deadeye's guys, and their tournament life is slowly slipping away. I would practically count them out after this game if they all go down here.
It's very unlikely that they can get much further. There, one more falls, and the Deadeye's guys' time in this tournament is coming to a close with a nade to seal the deal. 6-8. Take the Deadeye's guys out of play. Ryzen taken out of play himself as Enigma Galaxy win the fight in Painan.
Unfortunately, game over now for Deadeye's guys. One game left to play, and it would have to be basically a massacre for Deadeye's guys if they would want to make it into the finals. And I don't think at this point in time they'd be capable of doing that on our angle. Cryptic's still going strong.
I was going to say, as well as having to have a great game, they need Xavier and FaZe to have really bad games as well. And unfortunately on Erangel, they drop on opposite sides of the map, right? You've got South George and you've got over towards Lipovka. So it's almost impossible to hot drop and have a chance at a victory there in a big way.
Xavier's slowly moving up to Paradise Resort. Very carefully though. There's only 2 players remaining in Paradise Resort with those postings. Good shots come through though. Excellent shots in fact from Fidan. And one of the players from Genesis Dogma.
It feels like Rico Infinity team have just been going for these long-range engagements this entire time, controlling this range pretty well as well. Poking out south. It's a 2-2 split, and it's working.
I think when you can get onto the rooftops of Paradise Resort, not only does it mean you have a lot of vision around the map, but it also keeps you safe from anyone that wants to get into Paradise Resort, because at least you have a lot of information nice and early. The Infinity moved out towards that western bridge, trying to hold 628 and MS Chamburi at bay. 4 rivals, not dropping over towards Hut inside. Instead, drop up towards Cow, so they're not going to be kept at bay there. But again, moving very slowly, haven't quite made their way into the circle yet. And Xavier is being so cautious about it, and why not? They know that at this point in time, nothing's guaranteed, and they will have to keep this one tight towards the end of the day if they want to make it in.
We've had a Bridgewater finish, and now we're getting closer to... Well, Bootcamp is in this circle, Blank. I don't know if it will finish there, but what a way to close it down on the last Sanhok of League play. If we get a Bootcamp finish, I'd love it. I'd love it a lot.
Yeah, coming off the back of a bridge finish into a Bootcamp finish, damn. You know, PUBG Mobile gods blessing us with interesting circles. At this point in time, FaZe is quite happy, though. Haven't had to move too much. Been able to hold on to this compound, which is the bottom of that hillside. Means that not really a lot of people can spot them within that compound as they're coming over towards those ridges, which is nice for them. Keeps them safe, but as they start to move out, down towards the warehouses, just above Bootcamp.
Yeah, they actually crossed out to the compound closer to Paradise Resort and then came back to fold into this circle. They want this hillside, Blank.
It would make sense. I mean, with the amount of rocks that are around that area, the amount of brushes that you can play in, it gives you a lot of safety as a three-man team because you can play like a tiny little split, which gives you advantage over any team that's trying to crest onto this position, gives you that chance of surprise. See how it does work out for them. At the moment, I think they are quite undecided between compound and rocks.
It's so difficult for FaZe right now with a 21-point difference. Right down to the wire.
Chicken dinner would see him through, though.
Only if Xavier don't get the points on board as well. That's the thing, though. It's a difference. It needs to be over what Xavier score.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that realistically on Sanhok, you're not going to get a huge amount of kills on this map. Most of the kills come through towards the end of the game. A lot of your kills at the beginning are vying for position rather than just running through mobs, like you would see on our angle, maybe. I think for a lot of these teams, it's a case of have a strong spot towards the end of the game and then strike out, get those eliminations up to around about 7 or 8, and you're sat in a good position. That kind of game for FaZe will put them at around about 22 points, which is good. But again, you have to play hard in that next game because there's no guarantee that Xavier goes out early here. And you don't imagine with the way they're playing so safe, so cautious, they're going to go out early.
You said the Infinity were one of the few teams who figured out Sandhawks. They certainly figured out how to break straight into this Four Rivals compound. The nades, the Molotovs, everything just pushing them back into this corner. And Logan has the off angle as well, so they can't break out the other side. How do you do it? How do you do it to him? The spray is good, but Nuzi does take a knee, and actually looking to get flushed. Gonna go down. Infinity lose a player there.
That's really sad. You know, that fight was played so well. I love the way the Infinity uses smokes on these little hook compounds because they will drop down smokes on either side of the buildings, of the doors at least, eliminate any possibility of the team counterattacking inside, and then purely use those grenades to their advantage to just try and push them out of position. By the time they think they're ready, they'll move in and take a fight against a very much weakened team. So I like the way the Infinity goes about it. And that's that first initial fight that they do so well. We get the circle, John, heads down towards Bootcamp. A lot of this water's still in it, though, and FaZe is going to come under fire soon. They are quite out in the open. You know, that compound might be looking fairly nice, to be honest with you. It's one of the situations where, yes, it's probably not going to be the next circle, but at least it'll give you some defense.
Xavier very slowly leaving Paradise Resort now, but they are going to have to go quite a way. Only for FaZe, you've got to feel that this is the opportunity. You've got to feel that this is your chance. All the cards in your hand right now, but only 3 players alive. Losing that player early might be a crucial factor.
Stalwart currently fighting against Reject coming from that south side. Genesis Dogma flying, absolutely flying into Bootcamp. But Xavier, GE goes down.
Lamborghini now in a 1 versus 1 against Mella around the rock, and he's not going to be able to make it happen. No backup for the rest of the team as well. FaZe have oversight, and the Infinity will have to push a little bit further. But Xavier lose too, and this is again good news for FaZe.
Great news for FaZe. And with Xavier out in the water with so many eyes on this position, you'd imagine that Xavier aren't making it much further here. You know, they would love to get up towards the Infinity, but it's been a really awkward triangle split from both FaZe, 628, and the Infinity. And DXavier has ran into the worst position possible.
Logan felled as Rico Infinity team cut across it on the push. Infinity moving in from the north side. It's a difficult movement. You've got FaZe right in front of you and Rico Infinity team covering the flank really very effectively. But now Rico Infinity team feel they have to move and they want to fight against FaZe here.
Tony K is quite low, and you're wondering how many meds the FaZe guys were able to get on board, considering that they've really only been in one spot the majority of the game. Sure, they took down Action, probably were able to loot that body, but look at this, Beer 11, one first aid kit only. They're really running on dregs at the moment, and that is the scary thing, is that they're almost they need to win a fight here just to get some loot on board.
I'm pretty sure they're going to find one though, Blank. That's the thing. Mela moving in. Might be a delivery service. Ventora's crucially picking that up. Gets the flush as well. God, Tiny, I feel like the Infinity, are they going to leave a healer out in the blue? Potentially. Grab as many points as they can. Logan will be flushed in just a second.
Really, really grim circle to be playing here, right on the coastal side. 6-8 have much of the ground covered. MS Chumbury coming down from the southwest. Fairly safe position, actually. But FaZe now has to push through. Rico Infinity team at their back. It becomes difficult. DXavier can also play problems here as they get up towards that coastline, towards the cliff, start climbing. Goodness me, it's a stressful time.
Reject getting bombed out in the boot camp. Genesis Dogma and Stalwart both having to leave. Nick the Galaxy in the mix as well. And all this time there's more water, and Blank DXavier, they're swimming.
Torres gets knocked by 6-8. And this is the problem. They had to hold their own versus this team. Sunam moving up, nades in hand, and with these rocky outcrops, these nades fall into awful positions for you. That's a beautiful nade over the top, bounces off the top of the rock, and will explode above Sunam's head like a light bulb.
Gives them a little opening. Rico Infinity team, though, they're storming the back and looking to put the nail in the coffin for FaZe. That's a beautiful nade onto Beer 11. Stands up, the cop find the spray. FaZe eliminated with only one chance now to get back in. And DXavier outlast them, Blank. The more they survive, the harder it's going to be for FaZe moving forwards.
And they're in a position to snake this one in the entire time. Nick Galaxy taking down Stalwart. Just 2 points off the back of this game for FaZe. Goodness me, I think DRS are staying in this one, but FaZe still have a chance in hand. But it is a slim chance at that.
Slim to none, almost 8 teams remain now as they're dropping light flies, and the circle goes to the river again. The water spirits playing strong right now for DXavier. In their position with an elimination as well. Teams are dropping, Blank, and this is more and more placements and a larger and larger gap to get across.
MS Chumbury moving in from that southwest side. Like I said before, this is a strong position, keeps them covered the majority of the time. Will have to use smokes to get up. Genesis Dogma moving to position. Nickel drops straight into the water. A good play. Keep yourself safe for the time being, but Stalwart been held out by Daybot. Moving around the side, very low on HP, no first aids available.
Daybot nearly makes that cross. I thought he made it. No, gets shut down, gets sat down there. Booms, though, still in the mix. 33Z repositions. You can just burn this one out. I don't think he'll know that it's coming before it does. And actually, caught in a heal animation as well. 33Z trapped now. Booms wants to seal the deal. Genesis Dogma looking for the triple. 33Z, the obstacle right now. Satar has fallen. 33Z, last player for the team, and Booms falls. The flash goes the way of 6-8. With Booms getting eliminated, Genesis Dogma lose one of their crucial forward positions.
Nickel, though, still in the circle. I said there was only one team that really figured out Sandhog, but I think MS Chumbury does have a shout into that one. But nade comes over the top from Rico Infinity team, and this is what makes this position so awkward, is if you have nades in hand, you have utility, playing on these rocks is so dangerous. Another nade comes from Ponzai.
They're just burning away. Ponzai right in the fire. I don't think you're going to get away from that. DG13, they're looking for that res. The smoke bloomed. Rico Infinity team have been brutally efficient in this game, Blank. They've moved across so much ground. They take care of FaZe. They take care of this coastline as well. And everybody is bowing down before them right now.
But, John, top 6 and DXavier are still in this one. Nickel
needs to be aware that DXavier might move across, but it's unlikely they'd be able to get into a position to shoot him. He's in one of those very little awkward spots where it's basically a pixel standing point.
33Z, he knows where Prestiga is, but looks like they've got the idea as well. 16 remain. 8 eliminations already for 628. With MS John Burry going pretty low, 628 will fall the top 5 now for DXavier. This is brilliant news for them in their hopes to stay on up. And in fact, it might see them to be jumping up over Nova if they're lucky. They went down very, very early into this game, Blank. The differential might not be there, so the chase might be no longer between these two teams. Nova now at risk.
And I think with DXavier holding on for so long, you know, it's happy days. It was a beginning situation which was so dire for DXavier, but they've managed to make this into a gift by dropping down into the water. Frankie should have heals on board, but this fight still rages on between MS Chamburi as well as the Rico Infinity team. I believe there is another healer out somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, because we do have 5 teams.
Snigma Galaxy, wherever they are.
Of course it's Snigma Galaxy. You, Ralph, you scoundrel.
Finally goes down. 4 teams now remaining in the mix of it. There's MS Chamburi getting cacophonies of bullets sent their way. NC2 falls, and now it's down to 3. 10 points guaranteed from placements to DXavier, as well as getting that elimination. Frankie will be spotted around this coastline, but will not be able to heal in the water.
I would dive if I'm Frankie, because honestly, if Rico Infinity... Oh, I don't think he knows.
He knows. Oh, he's been shot down as Rico Infinity team descends. And 3rd place for DXavier. It's great for them. Now Nickel, actually, with 2 players in the water, might be able to find a couple more points now. Does he have a nade? Can he pop it up over the top? SK-Ton knows exactly where he is. Anas is down, but Prestige is there. And I feel like there's not a lot you can do. Okay, SK he just rises from the water. Rico Infinity team, and they deserved that win. They fought hard. They played it perfectly. But the story on everyone's minds, and certainly my mind right now, Blank, is DXavier's points in that last game. It is so close going into this final game.
I think that if you are FaZe, you are absolutely demoralized going into Rankle. Rough times ahead. I think the more sad thing about it is if FaZe was in the circle where it ended, they're in a great position to make it happen. But regardless, no. They go down early. Rico Infinity team at their backs just caused them so many problems, and they got crunched between. I think for FaZe, you know, having that strong spot at the beginning actually was their downfall. It was crazy though. I actually thought the Genesis Dogma might get the triple on the cards there, considering that everyone else on Rico Infinity team was low. So you might have been able to heal up in those final circles and just get the win that way. But SK-Ton, you know, creeps up like a water beast from the depth and stabs him in the back.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting another player to be down there. But you're right, it did look a little bit dicey. I mean, if he'd have had a nade, he could have just popped it up the top and maybe been able to do something. But either way, great result for Genesis Dogma. Even better for Rico Infinity team. Both of these 2 teams were safe though, Flyler. So DXavier coming in 3rd. Nets themselves, I think, 11 points. I think they had 1 elim in that last game. So they should be fairly close to what Nova were able to achieve after that fight over in Painan, getting wiped out by Enigma Galaxy on the approach.
Yeah, it's huge news for DXavier. Now, I've had a cheeky look at the standings, Sean. I'm not going to talk about them though, because actually it's quite interesting. I'll leave that to the desk. But it's close. I'll put it that way. It's very, very close.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Blank, you know what numbers do to me.
I do, yeah.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Catnip for a cat.
We were talking about where the bubble was going to be for so long, and we were saying, 150 to 190, that was my sort of estimate. I think Imperium had an estimate of 180 plus or minus 10. That was sort of his,
You're all wrong.
His ballpark. This is a statistically anomalous result. This is number defying right now to be on the bubble at such a high points total. We have not seen this in any tournament of this format. This Super Weekend format has not had this high of a bubble ever. So we've got 1 game left to play. Let's head back over to the desk.
Records are made to be broken, it seems, or at least statistical predictions, as we see here. It's coming down to the final match, and well, Nova fighting against BTR early, guys. Obviously, we could talk a lot about Rico Infinity team taking a victory here with 27 points, but we really have to keep our attention to what happened with Nova and BTR there.
Yeah, Nova decided to commit. BTR decided to also commit, and they got 3 limbs. It was looking good for Nova until Nigma Galaxy decided to third party. And I don't know what you think, Tarzan. I think that was intentional for them to.
I agree.
If you could try and get rid of them, just third party the fight when it ends. Like that's the perfect time to go for it.
Here's the thing. I know Nigma Galaxy always have a shot stop, maybe close to Painan on their rotation, but usually that rotation happens around 5-6 minutes later. So I think it's intentional that they want to have a look at Painan to see whether they can pick up scraps, and they did.
What's so confused is why, like, I think we talked about it a little bit, but like, why is Nova being so stubborn here? They're putting themselves now in a position where they might not qualify.
Yeah,
like that's the state of where they're at. They might not defend their title anymore, have a chance to.
I want to see them change their drop on the next game. It's the final chance, and you know that they go for that wide Gatka split. That is the great opportunity for a team to drop as a 4-man and 1 or 2 players individually. Get rid of those players, and then your chances of a chicken dinner or to get top 5 are significantly decreased. So, yeah, I don't want to see more stubbornness coming out from Nova. I've seen enough of that already. We'll have to see. But another team that also is currently fighting to make their spot in the top 16 is FaZe. And you're talking about scraps that we're trying to get picked up by some of the teams here, Tarzan, but they should clear their backside. They got to make sure you get rid of Infinity, get rid of Rick Infinity also. If you don't do so, you're just trying to get scraps moving into the circle, but you're going to get nothing from that.
Yeah, I mean, like, FaZe being a team who knows that spot very well, knows the potential spoiler play that they can deliver, but they did not pull that. I feel like the fact that they've lost one player really shifted them into playing a more conservative style, which didn't work out for them, right? So that didn't work out, meaning that they will need to get at least 28 points in this remaining game to at least to tie with the side of Nova. So it's going to be very, very hard. To be fair, they need a chicken dinner as well, I believe.
Yeah, they're going to need everything going their way. And again, teams could be dropping on top of them. I think a lot of focus obviously will be towards Nova here. But FaZe just needs so many points to somehow surpass them. And DRS, I mean, they have 3 teams below them with a 3-point difference. I mean, what? They would get 16th place at least. So it's not like they would be knocked out. But they would need FaZe to underperform here, go out early to be confident that they're safe.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I think that DRS, we can agree that they're going to be okay. It's too much also for FaZe to be able to overtake that position. But the big storyline for this final game, of course, is going to be Nova versus FaZe Clan. How is that whole interaction going to go down? We keep talking about hot drops. We had some of that, even though it's a hot drop that's been happening a lot between BTR and also Nova in Painan. Yeah, if you're one of the top teams that you see Nova as a threat, and clearly you should see Nova as a huge threat going into the tournament. They're currently still the reigning champions from last year's PMGC. You could end their story short now.
Yeah.
I think what's scary to me is, that you guys haven't, if you haven't been paying attention, haven't been watching to get the treasure box unlocked. That's a little bit scary because there's so many cool items for you to get permanently unlocked in your account. You can see, all you have to do is just follow and be watching on the Esports Center and here on YouTube. You can even click the rewards button below the stream on YouTube for some extra points. And you can work towards unlocking some, well, not only 1, but towards 2 permanent items, which starts off on the 22nd till the 13th of January. So a lot of items to win, but also, on the note, going back to FaZe, imagine that they realize, okay, well, we have to keep Nova low on points, so maybe we hot drop them. But maybe they drop onto where Nova are going to go, and then other teams wanted to drop onto where Nova are going to be, and FaZe kind of find themselves in a position where there's teams dropping on top of them that initially were going for Nova. Obviously, it's a stretch, but it is kind of players to think that FaZe, I mean, I don't think they would do it anyways. What's the point in trying to hot drop a team right now when you just need to focus on getting eliminations and getting a chicken dinner? And it's very difficult to take down Nova in recent times, but we're going to find out, and this is really rough. 17 eliminations and a chicken dinner for FaZe is what's Blank's saying. That's like almost tying the highest amount of points you've gotten from a single match as well.
Yeah, I think it's what we had 2 games was 18 eliminations, so you're going to have to almost tie for that record. And FaZe have the composition that they can make that happen, right? But we just have not seen them play at the standard that we expected from FaZe going into this tournament. So they're going to need a big change of playstyle this game. They're just going to have to be super confident, take fight after fight after fight, and clear out every single squad they see in their scopes. Like it's tough. It is possible, but for that to also happen, Nova need to have almost, 0 points really. So you need the stars to align perfectly.
Well, we'll see if those stars do align. We have to head to a break here. When we come back, we will be heading to our final match here in our Super Weekend. See you soon.
capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Here we go. It's time to find out if FaZe can become diamonds. It'll just be a lump of coal in your stocking in about 6 days time. I don't know where I got 4 from. My math is clearly on the level of Maxman here. But either way, FaZe Clan, they know exactly what they need to do in terms of qualifying. At least a chicken dinner is on the cards that they need to pull off here. A large amount of eliminations, but they also need to hope, as we said before, that Nova don't score anything in this match, which you have to imagine Nova have to be in the mindset. And if they don't do this, I'm going to be really tilted. But just play safe. Just play for placements. You don't really need to get crazy. You don't need to go for any early engagements. Just play the number game, right? Play the smart game. Survive if you want to qualify.
Okay, I feel like a broken record right now, but I'm going to bring back the point about hot drops. What if FaZe, knowing that they need not only to get a huge game with also a lot of eliminations on top, need to make sure that Nova don't get any points? Would FaZe maybe not be the one to actually drop on Nova, but they do drop relatively close. They go for Southern George Pole / crates. They could instantly drop there. There's a lot of car spawns in that position, and you rotate instantly towards Nova once you've looted up. That is a little bit of a stretch. Once again, we're going like in those big theory craft positions, but knowing how close they are and how they typically rotate, they could capitalize on that split from Nova early.
That's what I was saying before, is like they could do something like that, but they have to be really wary of other teams looking to drop on top of Nova. Like they could run into 2, 3, 4 other teams who are looking to punish Nova and keep them out of the finals. So if they do that, they might be greeted with a lot more than they bit off.
You know what? I feel like there could be other teams doing other things to hunt down maybe Dom and Kia and Xavier as well, because they are also at 215 points. And to be fair, I was thinking about maybe Nova dropping on FaZe Clan. Like, hear me out here. So let's say they take a fight, they lose they lost all their players as Nova, but then they also eliminate 2 of the players of FaZe Clan. So in that setting, can they still get a 28-pointer with only 2 players? So that is doing a lot of damage to, of course, themselves, but probably enough to really do the damage to take away the number of players. So if I were Nova, I would drop on South Georgia Pole, as long as not a 4-0 or like 3-1, if that makes sense. Yeah, then it should be still a win.
Yeah, we talked about that before as well. It is actually very smart play, but we'll find out if they're going to do it. But before that, we remind you guys once again that OnePlus is our sponsor here at PMGC with its flagship performance and immersive 120Hz display and hypersonic technology made specifically for gamers. OnePlus 9 Pro, your best shot to climb the leaderboards. And I had to go really quickly there because we need to get our predictions in. We need to round out this entire day pretty much. My prediction, Infinity, like always. Tarzan, your prediction?
BTR.
Hello.
It's great to see Ryzen back in the mix, to be fair.
I am here.
I mean, it's the last chance. I still have hope, Jason, but I'm doubted now.
Hold on.
Maybe they were saving all of their chicken dinners for the finals, Max.
That is my green screen in the
that.
background.
Let's go with that.
That's
a good storyline. I like that. That helps me out.
Doing casting or
well, let's head over to our commentators to kick off the final match here of the day and final match of normal play here in PMGC. Start on over to John and Blank to kick things off.
Oh, it's right on the edge. The precipice with FaZe getting a gauntlet laid at their feet. Blank, they have to run through.
All right, so what's happening? Who's qualifying? Who's not? What are the points?
Yeah, me and you were crunching the numbers in the back. So actually it's not 17.
What's the overalls? Increase my voice?
To pass DRS if they end up in 16th
Okay.
place. In terms of points, but they will have the tiebreaker.
Okay, this should be better.
If, however, John, we get Downward Gaming, Xavier, on Nova go out with 0 points on 215 points apiece, they only need to
Improve on volume. My volume?
Only. I know, it sounds
Hold on.
crazy,
I'm going to turn down the game volume.
It's going to have to be a game and a half. So we're focusing today on this final game of the Super Weekend, the third one that determines the final.
Okay.
On
And then...
Downward Gaming, Xavier, Nova,
Hello.
and FaZe.
I'll move the mic closer to my mouth.
$5,000 gain, Blank. The main prize for getting into the finals, that $5,000.
What's going on with Nova? Is Nova not going to qualify? What are the scores? I just woke up. FaZe needs its 17 chicken dinner to qualify, and then DRS will be out.
And you know what's even scarier than that, John? Throughout the entirety of all Super Weekends, FaZe Clan has had 2 chicken dinners total.
The DRS qualify?
I need another. Yeah.
Bro, I just woke up, man.
What I'm looking at is a northwest
Okay,
circle
let me look.
with
I'm
all
gonna look at the
is
scores
happening.
since they're not
Heading
showing
down
it.
towards the south side center. If we had that northwest circle up towards Everest, potentially there's a chance. But Cryptics, they're in position around FaZe. Goodness me, this could be bad.
Could be disastrous for them if they aren't aware of the drop. They should have seen the parachutes, and they should have this information.
All right, so FaZe. Whoa, what? Nova's in 16th.
Came back to bite them in that last game on Sanoff.
Nova's in 16th right now. So FaZe needs to beat out Nova. FaZe is in 17th place. FaZe is 13 plus. Oh, FaZe is not qualifying, bro.
It's Nova. It's DXavier.
FaZe is
A real test here for FaZe.
13 plus 15.
Oh, what though?
What is that? 28?
Just dropping out on Genesis Dog.
FaZe is 28 points
Don't even dare go down towards Nova.
behind.
MS Shumburi on the south side of Sosnovka, in fact. Yeah, a lot of funky drops at the moment.
They're just trying stuff out, seeing if it works.
Okay, FaZe is way behind.
You got TG13 up in Yasnaya, all on his lonesome.
I mean, why not? You know. DRS aren't in the lobby. DRS aren't in the lobby. You know what? Maybe they're just not going for us.
Make it happen.
Yeah, places 14, 15, and 16 have to go out early.
That means that MS Shumburi aren't.
And then FaZe also needs to get a huge
That's what I was
chicken
saying
dinner.
Earlier before this game actually started, is that DXavier don't really have anyone to challenge them. And with this hot drop from Stalwart as well onto Genesis,
Dude.
there's even
Nova in 16th though.
DXavier in this lobby.
Sheesh.
With DXavier just being able to hold on this east side, Genesis, Dogma, Stalwart there, neither of these teams are going to move up towards their position anytime soon.
Oh.
Backs down the stairs there as Daybot comes in.
Oh, what? Top is just better.
Too late though. Daybot sprays the window, spots a little bit of a corner as well. They're gonna shut top down, but Sliver of HP keeps him alive. Out the window, and Pika thinks twice about the backup. It's top against Genesis Dogma, and Daybot gets the frag. Nice spray down with the micro Uzi, but it's traded out. Actually, Pika, the long range backup. Sure, he didn't go straight on in, but now Genesis Dogma, I think they've only got one player left standing. Nikhil looking to try and stay alive, doesn't have time for these reses because in comes the crash from Stalwart.
Funnily enough, if Stalwart are able to win this fight versus Genesis Dogma,
Dude, Top stalled that fight out so long.
Oh my lord, that's a gorgeous nade coming up the stairs from Pika. I think that the funny thing is that if Genesis Dogma,
FaZe is screwed. FaZe is not making it in.
probably the kings of our angle are now out of the match.
I feel like if I was here today watching the entire tournament today, Nova would not make it, bro. I would have cursed Nova if I was here watching the whole time.
I feel like Cryptics going after FaZe blank. I have that feeling. They've surrounded it. El Chapo's outposted on the top of the mountain right now, on the top of Everest. And they've just got beads on every angle.
It's funny because they have pretty much every single rotational path locked down. You have two players heading up towards Box Compound. You've got El Chapo on top of Everest.
In today's matches, in today's match 2, Tony K 1v4 STE. Which Stalwarts, right? Stalwarts, or did he 1v4 the Chinese STE?
Having an interesting time over on the military island.
It's true though. If I was here watching, bro, Nova would somehow not qualify.
There's no one else nearby them as well.
And then chat would hate me. I'm gonna make a poll.
It's so stressful in this final match. These first 5 minutes have been
Interesting question I got for you guys.
finds a burst onto Marshall, and thus begins the elimination train.
Will Nova get top 9 to qualify for PMGC World Finals?
They go down here blank. It could be disaster for them and great news for FaZe. They find one, but only a knock, and the flush goes out. Down one gaming, trying to cling on to the coattails.
Okay, will Nova get top 9 in PMGC East Finals?
Jedi's guys trying to push forward with Shifu. The nade finds damage, but nothing more.
In order.
That one gaming go out here. That drops the elimination total for FaZe just down to 13. They don't have to have that much of a blast out match anymore.
In order to qualify for P.
The top of Potato Hill here. It's good.
Okay, I made a poll.
And Xavier might also come into the fray. It's the battle for the bottom at the moment. As Deadeye's guys, they're sending up. They want this fight. They want to go in. They want to find those kills. They know Song's there. Love goes down, and Shifu goes down as well, but it's traded out for one. Song.
This is it for Deadeyes.
They find a kill, and that brings them a point, and one step further away from FaZe's ever marching kill count. They are just on the precipice, but they still have Deadeye's guys to deal with.
Boy takes a huge amount of damage, but Fabian's making it look easy. Now it's up to Race.
Oh.
Make this happen.
No, they can't get it done. And 4 points for Damwon. That puts them up and over the top of DRS Gaming. They are safe now, Blank.
Oh yeah, shit. Okay, DRS might not wait.
Finished for them. They're in the finals. Goodness me.
Oh wait, DRS. No, DRS is gonna qualify. If Damwon, DX, and Nova pass at DRS, DRS just goes down to 16th place, right? So that just means FaZe needs to beat DRS. Kind of.
No eliminations. The only hopes now for FaZe.
Dude, my prediction was DRS will qualify in at 16th place. That's looking like it's gonna come true. Damwon pass DRS. If DX and Nova pass DRS, DRS will qualify at 16th place. There's no way FaZe needs like 30. Oh yeah, FaZe needs like 31 points to tie with DRS. Well, now FaZe needs 30 more points. They have 1 point so far.
Really, the only team that can jump up into top 16 is FaZe, and only one team will slide down beneath them. It's DRS.
Yeah, DRS is gonna qualify. Message retracted. How do I unpin something? I tried to like unpin. Here, I'll just pen a new message. I love.
That's a test. That is a test.
This is a shitty circle for FaZe.
Where do they go? Do they try and send for Ferry Pier in this situation? It's... Oh man, I feel for the guys.
So 79% of you say Nova will get top 9 in PMGC East Finals. I hope they qualify for World Finals.
Could be DXavier. It could be DXavier going down as well on these crossings. You have to think that Nova now coming up to close position with Infinity. They're familiar with this.
That's 1 point for Nova.
Unfortunately, they've already crossed, and now they're having to go back. Order picks up a kill. Is that a point going over towards Nova? Not the flush just yet, but they are going to get it. There we go. With that point, that leaves DXavier as the last bastion.
The last hope for FaZe. 4 Rivals and Rico Infinity team still going at it. FaZe moving down towards 6 to 8's position on Quarry side. Like you said, looking to move towards Ferry Pier. 45 remaining in the lobby.
Is there any chance you would see me back in competitive? Very unlikely.
Trapped behind this. 2 players from 4 Rivals.
I don't. Very unlikely.
That could be good.
Bro, you became my favorite stream, even though I've only been watching you for the last 2 weeks. Aw, thank you, Red Rim Poster. Thank you, bro. That means a lot to me. Sorry I was not here for most of the stream today. I've been very busy this weekend. Haven't got much sleep.
Just a waste time for them. 4 Rivals sitting on top. Nice little cheeky position. Got a bit of information. Pamburu though. Oh my goodness me! Both so low at this point in time. The flying man.
Spicy.
What would you got in your dreams while you sleeping? What do you mean? Like.
Spotted out, knows exactly where Pamburu is. Can get the flush here, and an ass now drops down. It's his turn to fly.
Like, are you asking me in my dreams what I would think? Who would qualify? Yeah, those were some fire nades.
This is stressful. You see it down your bottom right. FaZe up in vehicles, but 6 to 8 are waiting for them on the other side. So I think for FaZe, for the safest push, will be go down towards the
Oh!
of the map.
Oh!
Western coastline.
He ran it.
Can take shots though. Pemburu takes
Oh.
that one out.
Oh, FaZe is dead.
The vehicle is blown up. 6 to 8. Find some shots, and now they're all in the water. They got to swim this one through. And 6 to 8, they have eyes on.
Luckily, Ventoras is on a forwards position now, right? He can start to get up onto that mainland.
What the heck happened to FaZe?
Some sort of area. But
directly towards 6 to 8.
Oh, this is not fun. This is not fun for FaZe.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay.
There is no team that can
Nova will
change
qualify,
teams
dude.
going into these finals.
They need
Nova's gonna qualify. STE is, right now, making sure Nova qualifies by eliminating FaZe.
Yu Yang is out of the way, but Ventoras needs to get eyes on this position. Otherwise, it's game over for FaZe.
Xavier have managed to make that crossing as well as the stuff.
Yo.
Xavier. Oh dear.
FaZe is getting screwed by the circle.
Horrible set of circles to deal with now.
Luckily for Ventoras, there's only 2 players here, but Yu Yang, he's coming back. And Tony K is most likely going to die here. He took the brunt of the damage from that vehicle explosion. I don't think he survives this.
And remember, not only do FaZe need to get into the final, they need to get the chicken dinner, they need a massive kill count as well. Nova, look at a Kareen across, and actually spreading out wide there. Got Tunny not really getting the spray down.
What? King? Bro.
Falls to the off angle from Mela, and everybody else from Infinity picking up the pieces.
Why would...
But by God, did the rest
What is Nova doing? Why would King stop there to think he could beat the bridge camp by stopping there? Oh my God, Paraboy? Yo, Nova is washed. Bro, if this was Paraboy in his prime, he would have gotten that knock.
Blank, I feel like we've just found our top 16.
Head back to Ferry Pier. They're gonna try and
No, I don't think King lagged. King just stopped.
It is going to be a long, long search to get in, and Sunan still playing outpost on that western side.
That's fine. Nova qualified, bro. Even if Nova dies.
Really the only player that's made it in 4 FaZe, but I don't think he can carry the rest of his team on his back.
Did I see Eiffel Tower when you woke up? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I'm gonna say no.
They might be okay for just a little bit. It's still zone 3. They will have a little bit of onus on them, sure, but they've got to get away. Paraboy as well, getting out, trying to leave for Nova. Only 1 elim still. And Jimmy's gonna get flushed here. Got Tiny gonna do the
he was dancing. Go back to the camera. He was about to start dancing on Jimmy.
In a car. I don't know where they think they're gonna rotate to. Maybe they can send it across and try and get through.
That DP nerf is just bad. Yeah, I know they nerfed the DP, but still, man.
And they need the kills. They might even be able to get across this bridge.
Paraboy should hit those.
Mounted up and started moving. Tony K making the death mark.
He's in now. This is perfect timing.
Oh no, he's moving at just the right time. You're right, Blank. Got Tony actually getting away. Tony K can regroup with Ventoras on the south side here. He's low HP, needs to stop and heal up.
C block might be the position to go for 1 first aid kit available to him, but he needs to get into this circle. Good positioning around the side.
Imagine if he died to fall damage right there when he got out the car.
In come the rest of FaZe though. Look at that. The regroup is in. The Infinity are going to know Tony K's here, but they are in with at least a chance of this fight. Ventoras has been laying the ground. They know there's no one behind them. They can full face towards the Infinity. And this is a challenge. The top dogs in the lobby. FaZe with the tournament on the line. Can they stand tall here, Blank?
It's just all healing. You can feel the desperation from his team to make it.
Wait, what's Spear 11 doing? Just get in the buggy and go. Don't run back for your stupid car. Oh, play zone.
Paraboy is out, and that lowers the points threshold. Sure, down to 14 elims now. that FaZe need and the chicken dinner.
So FaZe needs 14 eliminations and the chicken dinner.
I think it might be too much to ask.
Vintoris also goes down to Liquid. Now just 2 players.
Yeah, this is GG, bro. GG. There's no way FaZe gets 13 more eliminations as a 2-man. Like, if they get extremely lucky, FaZe can get the chicken dinner, but they're not gonna pick up 13 more eliminations as 2 people, bro. It's not happening.
With that finish as well. So it will actually be
14 elims total.
214. 214 points, right?
Yep. So
Oh, wait, more than that.
Yeah, it's 216 for
Yeah,
them. So
Nova's gonna
FaZe
finish in
eliminations
16th
and a
place.
chicken dinner. With 2 players with
Nova
only
didn't
1
pass
already,
up.
that is a tall task to begin with.
Nova did not pass
Players in the
DRS.
lobby, -2, 24 out of the
Nova
24
gonna
players,
qualify in
FaZe
16th
has to
place.
kill 14 of them.
Sheesh.
Got 1 elim, so make that 13 blank. It's a little bit more doable, right? Oh my god.
A little bit.
Oh no. But they're not in a position to get these kills just yet. They need to sweep up and take on the Infinity to their northern side and pick off these kills against Bigatron. DXavier are holding out. It's looking almost impossible now. It has done
It's
for a
sad
while.
because
Bro, don't say anything, you'll curse
they're
it.
being stymied purely by the player.
There's no way FaZe wins this game with 13. They need 13 more kills, man. It's not happening.
It is the fact that there is not enough eliminations available to them to make it.
It's that way, certainly. Oh god.
Does this league qualification have prize money? Everybody that qualifies into the grand finals gets an extra 20,000 USD per team, I think. There's no specific prize for like first place, second place, third place though. But if you make it into the PMGC East finals, everybody that makes it in gets an extra 20,000 USD. Everybody right now already gets 10,000 USD. Like all 20 teams that got to this stage, I think, all gets 10,000 USD. And then if you could qualify to PMGC East finals, you get another 20,000. Yo, look at this zone. FaZe got circle, but FaZe is a 2. If FaZe kept 4 alive, which they easily could have here, FaZe.
Oh. Should be up to 217 total. FaZe now.
Infinity.
Oh, he knows.
Infinity are down to 2. You're never going to find them in a weaker spot. Mela goes down. There's the first. Tony K low, but doesn't get knocked. That could be crucial. God Tunny moving out. Sends to the rock.
Okay. There's still no way. FaZe needs
12 more to go.
12, yeah, FaZe needs 12 more eliminations to beat Nova, and then Nova won't qualify.
That is the real mountain to pass. I think that you need teams to clash against one another. But the alive count.
Wait a second. There's not even enough players left alive for FaZe to eliminate.
Not possible anymore, and FaZe will not be making it.
Oh, well, GG's, Nova qualified. I didn't even notice. There's not even enough people in the lobby for FaZe to eliminate.
Across the bridge, here and back again for FaZe, yet it's not enough.
Top of the hill. It's a fight, and Tony K gets knocked. Their push turns to ash in their mouths. Spear 11 trying to keep themselves alive, and the thing is, they don't know. They don't know that they're done. And they are going to keep fighting.
GG's.
GG.
What is wrong with Nova? I don't know, man.
For that nade, but with only 2 defeats on the cards.
I think
There's not anything left. Xavier got dismantled in the meantime.
I think teams just got way better. Like Eastern teams just got way better than they did before.
One of the brutes in this lobby.
And then Nova's just not used to it.
Finishing the run. Xavier, though, what
Yeah,
I will
global
say is
teams
this
got
team
way
has
better.
Made a real step up in this final Super Weekend to make it to the finals itself. Despite what anyone will tell you, Xavier, they have ran this one back. They've shored up a lot of the problems on the team. They're looking so much stronger. Their Sandhawk was corrected. Their Erangel was corrected. And in the finals, it's really a team to look out for. Going
It's a 1v1v1. There's
one player apiece.
there's 5. It's a 1v1v1v1v1. What the heck? How did this happen?
With Beer 11, with all the work he's done.
Yeah, so
Far, overall Super Weekend,
everybody is a solo.
here, it would make me proud.
The last chance to do so as well. With no possibility of making it in, they just don't have enough points left. What can you find? Beer 11 swinging down south. I wonder if they know. I wonder if that call has come through. That they know they can't make those points totals.
Beer 11's going to play it through to the bitter end, though, John. You know that.
Yeah, never qualified.
It will be a bitter end. But the sweetness will come in the fact that they did their fans proud in the final game. They made it this far. They really had to have the best game of their life. But honestly, this circle is what ruins it for them. We were hoping for a Northwest. It would have sat them in good stead. But an Eastern Circle on Sosnovka, like you say, is horrendous.
If I was here
And despite
the
all
whole
that,
time,
they are here.
watching every game,
Gottani goes up for the fight.
I feel like Nova would not have qualified, bro. No cap.
Could be really, really solid. Ooh, he thinks better of it. Drops a nade, actually hears that one go. Monty breaks out wide. I think Gottani knows that this position has been readjusted. Goes for the push, and Monty caught in the heel. The animation's there. Gottani gets that one done. Ragey now moves on in. Everybody's on the north side, and blank, it could still be a FaZe chicken dinner.
It could still be a FaZe chicken dinner. And like I said, it'd be the best way to end this tournament. With FaZe been so down there.
Do you think Infinity can win 20?
Finally,
No, I don't think any global teams can win PEC yet, though. No.
be able to readjust, come back again, see what they can get done. But I don't think anyone expected FaZe not to get to the finals. I certainly didn't. I don't think anyone else within this tournament thought they wouldn't.
I don't think a global team could get first place in a Chinese tournament on the Chinese version of the game, though.
On a land finish. Look at this. It's bowled up the top, and actually, Beer 11 moves in. Has an excellent side angle here onto this fight. Liquid far more concerned with Ragey, as is Ragey with him.
Where's STE Mongolia's position? They got third place.
Just wiggling around on the ground right now.
Third place. So Infinity's number 1. GD Gids is number 2. STE Stalwarts, third place.
The first to face, but Beer 11 is crawling ever forwards to his inevitable doom. But they're looking to go out in a blaze of glory. The fall in the Phoenix's ash. What a way to go out if they can make it. Ragey breaks out wide. There's the spray.
Oh, Ragey's just better.
Go down, and Ragey's low. I think he knows where this position is, and he has the inside track on the circle. Beer 11 for FaZe. This guy has been through it. The ringer has not been kind to them. He breaks out into the open ground. He gets the peak. Ragey hits the deck. They know each other's position, and he gets the
he's
spray.
shooting the rock.
Beer 11 wants to seal the deal for FaZe, but they cannot make it.
Beer loses this, even though he has the advantage, bro.
This spray or not, it might be good for the ego, but it won't be good for the totals. It won't see them safe. There's the Molotov that will force the fight to occur. Ooh, not quite long enough there. But blank, Ragey gets out and takes Beer 11 low. Sealed away. There's
who wins?
I don't know if Ragey has healing on.
Ragey or Beer?
That's the final one for Beer 11.
My money is on Ragey. This guy's cracked, bro.
Come out from Ragey there, I'm not sure. DP in hand, scary and accurate, to be honest with you. But Ragey still has to move, and Beer 11 can bide his time. A sad end to a story. for Beer brought into
Look at these peaks.
late, in my opinion,
Oh!
considering how
He hit him.
good this guy has been for the team.
A phenomenal player. A phenomenal standard of play that we've seen from FaZe. But a little too late, unfortunately, for them to be able to make it in.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Beer 11 lands.
Oh.
Takes damage in response. Ragey spraying around the corner.
Oh! Oh!
But Beer 11's low as well. Trapped between the blue, and now Ragey has the.
Oh! Phase 1!
FaZe take the chicken dinner.
Oh, okay. Cast a curse.
17th on the precipice of qualifying for those finals.
But FaZe didn't qualify. FaZe is out of the tournament.
Short, but what a way to finish for FaZe.
An unfortunate finish and a story that could have gone so differently. And you're right, John. Honestly, for Beer 11 and FaZe, the Phoenix burns brightest just before it falls. And to the ashes they go, and hopefully they will come back next PMGC.
Cast a cursed.
It was not enough, like you said. And I am happy to see our top
Yeah,
16
Ragey almost did it, but what matters is
of our top 16.
FaZe.
Couldn't have been closer.
GG's to FaZe, man.
I really do think that Nova needs to step things up, but a sad day for FaZe fans.
Absolutely. Maybe stubbornness for Nova, not allowing them to leave positions where it's not favorable, to get into these sticky spots where you know you're going to go down. Honestly, this circle, it's so cruel, but that's what happens when you leave it to the last moment. These things happen. This is PUBG Mobile. There is volatility, and if you're FaZe, if you haven't had those performances earlier on, you can't really blame it all on the circle, because every single game gets you those points. It could have been any other one, but no, it was this one that they needed, and it was this one that they weren't able to make it happen on.
The question to me, John, is where was this FaZe earlier? Why does it take desperation and the final moments of a tournament?
Let's watch Tony K's 1v4 against Stalwart.
Obviously had it in them.
Okay.
Where was it?
I'll watch that and then we'll be ending the stream. I want to see the overall points.
And not to say that Vintoras and MR5 aren't good, but there was a clear disparity between the two duos.
And 3 chicken dinners for FaZe as well. Overall, they've had some great games in these super weekends, but they just weren't consistent enough. Commiserations to FaZe, but they still get the consolation prize of the final chicken dinner.
Well, Nova must have been sweating bullets there towards the end. And obviously, as the players in the lobby did drop, FaZe's chances disappeared as well. Just Cap and Max Man and Professor Tarzan to break down this last match. And as you heard, John and Blank talking, where has this FaZe been?
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, we got to see some glimpses in this team that can really dominate the entire lobby, but it comes down to your whole performance in the entire event. It can't just be that one last match to determine if you get in or not.
Yeah, I think I'm not the only one that's going to be thinking this, but
4 rivals, top 5 without a chicken.
Huge. There's
That's crazy.
Team to perform in this tournament, but I think that this being also their first time playing at this stage, as this new roster, then of course with the additions of all these new talented players, has been rough on them, and they've been trying to adapt as much as possible. They've been able to have some success from time to time, but it just didn't quite cut it, unfortunately. And these circles, as John and Blank were mentioning, were rough. It was some of the hardest circle shifts every time away from them. Of course, that
A Chinese team just won PUBG PC Global Championship.
For them to make it work out, but as the player count went
Oh, okay.
chances to get enough eliminations plus a chicken
New
dinner,
Happy
and
just won
position
PUBG
of Nova was
PC
just
Global
gonna be thrown out the
Championship.
window. It was a close call, but unfortunately not quite able to get themselves enough eliminations at the end there.
It's really bittersweet, Riley. We know that off that chicken dinner, they went through so much in that game when it comes to the macro. They've got Cryptics dropping on them again after, like Sandhawk, a little bit of targets drop. And then 4 rivals, they've never done that. They want to join the party. They escaped from that. They went for the botation. They got the boat taken away, but then they tried to think flexible. They went back to Ferripier, and they actually got the 4 team up. It was just off that phase 4 when they decided to just go straight in instead of making it a wide rotation to use a southern approach. That is where they.
Congrats to New Happy.
I do believe there's so much more that could have been done before. And
all right, here we go.
that last guy who got that chicken in, I wish
Dang,
he had
DRS.
time. He really earned that spot.
Well, you can see our 16 teams that will be
DRS
Imperium probably gonna be,
almost
well, also sweating bullets. As,
went down to
DRS can barely
16th.
stay in this one. 1 point from 16th place, 13 points from being not. Well, I guess technically, yeah, 13 points.
My prediction was false. DRS did not qualify in at 16th place. I predicted they would come in at 16th place yesterday.
And DRS, out of the
Pretty
entire
close though,
field,
15th.
Participate in the Super Weekend. Those are the only 2 teams unable to close out a match. But also, we got to talk about Infinity at the very top of the table. 97 points in the lead.
Dude, Infinity cracked.
How do you hold on such a huge lead over the course of 45 games, Jason? That is nutty from Infinity. This is talking about Star Wars, or a very close competition from time to time, but not close enough to overtake that position of Infinity. And I hope I'm not the only one saying this, but Infinity's seen how consistent, how strong, how dominant this team has been throughout the entirety of this league stage, are looked at as one of the clear favorites.
Does TJB deserve a slot for PEC?
That will be happening in January if they do make it that far, because Infinity have to be.
I think for PEC they deserve it, because isn't PEC like a lot of Chinese teams? I forgot.
So here's the thing, of course, they get to
I don't want to talk about TJB anymore.
and maybe that is what they need to play to
Oh yeah, Imperium was supposed to shave his beard if DRS didn't qualify.
We start from 0 in a few days' time, so that will be the thing that I'm going to look out for. What if they started with a little bit of a hiccup? That will be the challenge.
New Happy won, and that's the end for Chinese PUBG PC esports, because there's a ban on PUBG BC by the Chinese government, and they defeated an underdog of the tourney, Heroic. That's congrats to New Happy, man.
And if you're a team that's towards the bottom of the table when it comes to that top 9, you better keep playing.
PC have 3 Chinese teams? Is it 3?
The only team that seems relatively
Oh, is it TJB, Nova, and STE that get invited to PC? I don't know what's going on in PC.
In the finals, in the finals, and pull off what they did in the very first week of league play, where they placed 15th.
Yeah, that is a possibility, and you must never really forget about that. Infinity
PEC is gonna have 2 Chinese teams.
Throughout the entirety of the tournament, as also mentioned by Tarzan, they're able to hold on to an average above 10 points. I think they might be towards 11, 12 actually.
All right, okay, let's see this Tony K 1v4.
To be at least 12 to 15 points, that is a little bit. FaZe have aided once. You're gonna talk about that them getting their round. Wait, already on for now.
He's strong for the third and finding a both against Order and Torres has still got a couple of HE now. JB2 so they need to come out on top real quickly here, and Torres able to get the knock. Now the 1v1 against Paraboy, and Paraboy doing his best to keep them at bay while Jimmy arrives in the party, and he has indeed, but it's still quite a distance away. Torres making quick work of Order.
Oh no!
Able to get the reply knock. Tony gave the knock in return. Come down to a 2v2.
Icky should be. I feel for knocked both because whatever.
Oh.
I know.
Good
but,
grenade by
I
Venturas.
feel for both of these teams because whatever happens, whatever the outcome, as Jimmy gets knocked, both of these players are going to be surviving the rest of this game with only.
They had no chance there. In the horizon.
They kicked so low.
Oh, but yeah, MS John Burry.
Oh, okay, let's see this. Tony K has a solo 1v4s. Like, this is a true 1v4. Like, he doesn't even have a teammate to, like, support.
Okay. KKK is alone against what I sometimes like to call the alpha wolves in the server. And he's gonna do a good job.
Oh, no way. He 1v4s this?
He's gotta patch himself up.
No way.
Gonna group up, firing into the smoke, hoping to find him, but it's nowhere nearby. Tony K, that M249 could shred them.
Oh!
Go for the play.
Oh, I love that.
Tony K finds one, runs back up again. Now Scry, does he go for the res? Going for the long reload. It takes about half an hour. It's like assembling an IKEA table. There's going to come another knock for Tony K. He's found 3 members of Star Wars.
Oh!
He gets it. Tony K, through against Stalwart. What a beast!
Oh
my
shit.
God. This is the PMGC. This is where giants are made.
Damn. That was a straight 1v4. That was a straight 1v4. That drop shot. Let's watch. I'm gonna watch that drop shot one more time. But
Back up again. Nearby. Tony K. That M249 could shred them. He's gonna go for the play.
Oh, I love that.
Tony K finds one. Runs back up again. Now Scry. Does he go for the res? Going for the long reload. It takes about half an hour. It's like assembling an IKEA table. He's going to come peering around the corner again. Another knock for Tony K. He's found 3 members of Stalwart.
Oh.
He's going to get it. He gets it. Tony K found 3. He's going to come peering around the corner again. Another knock for Tony K. He's found 3 members of Stalwart. He's going to get it. He gets it.
that was a nice play. That was a very that push. Look, he fakes the footsteps. I don't even know if this matters or not, but either way, Tony K fakes the footsteps of him running away. That makes Stalwart saying, "Oh, he's running. He's going upstairs. He's going upstairs." So it makes him try to chase him down. See, right there. I don't know if it matters. Like, I don't know if this actually tricked Pika into thinking Tony K was running upstairs, but
He's found 3 members of Stalwart. Runs back up again. He's fine. Gonna group up.
but the thing that Tony K does so well here is like, see right here, Tony K gets some more shots in. Yeah, but when you're in a 1v3 or 1v4, you have to find timings to go aggressive to catch the enemy off guard. If you just play defensive the entire time, you're relying on the enemy to make mistakes for you to win, right? If you just stay defensive in a 1v4 or a 1v3, the only way you win that is if the enemy messes up. Here, Tony K picked timings to go aggressive.
Tony K. That M249 could shred them. He's gonna go for the play.
See, it catches the team off guard, because Tony K goes aggressive and then he runs away, goes defensive.
Love that. Tony K finds one, runs back up again.
And then he goes aggressive again. That last push by Tony K for the last player was really good. This is more so STE messing up a little bit, like, but right here, he pushes outside of the door. This really threw Pico off here. Pico is not ready for someone to push out of the house into him. Yeah. Pico has really fast reactions, though. Pico reacted to this really quickly. Look at how fast Pico went for a drop shot and tried to turn around. But amazing play by Tony K. But Nova qualifies. FaZe is out. GG's. Alright, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week for PMGC East viewer party. I'll be able to be awake for all of them. I've had a very busy weekend, so I didn't get much sleep. Yeah. Alright, guys. Take care. Zoo Nation out. Get some good rest, guys. I love you all. Take care. Peace. Goodbye. See you guys next week. Or if you're gonna be watching PMGC West, I'll be on the analyst desk today. All right. Bye, guys.
Okay. Do good, do great, and they talk bad on you. No me, no face, cause they're not factual. I won't stay too long here, I'm just passing through. I might hit the bank and get a bag or two. My mama asked me why you got that cash on you. Second you switch up, they might get mad at you. No, you're not my friend, so no, I'm taxing you. You all like my sons, I'm going dad on you. Okay, good job, good job. Get mine, no prob. Hit my line, you're irking me. I hit that woosah. No, I don't got perks on me. I sleep good on God. Spend that money, make it reappear. Ta-da. I've been getting paid. I've been eating good. I've been putting on some weight. If I got a problem, I just call my brother babe. This is like a warning shot to get up out my face. This is like a warning shot to get up out my way. This is like a warning shot to get up out my lane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 7. My girl said I'm a dog, but all dogs go to heaven. Thank the Lord when I wake. I've been sleeping like a baby, cause I know my paper straight. Another day to the grave. I get it cause I got to. I got kids, I need to bang. Thank the Lord when I wake. I've been sleeping like a baby, cause I know my paper straight. Another day to the grave. I get it cause I got to. I got kids, I need to bang. I've been getting paid. I've been eating good. I've been putting on some weight.